and welcome to D4, where I, Dustin,
and I, Devin, codium a 5th edition game of Dungeons
and Dragons.
Yeah!
You might have noticed something new. Something's changed. With the introduction of Elder Eye Entertainment, this is where we're rebranding our company, and we want to present ourselves and be more importantly, our product. We're lucky enough to grow beyond just the singular Dungeons and Dragons Sunday show. But with Elder Eye Entertainment, we will begin to focus on more content, both TTRPG related and hopefully beyond, in ways that enrich your listening and viewing experience through high production, immersive games and content.
That's right. D4 will continue to be our live actual play 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons game, but coming soon, you'll see new and exciting pre-recorded content that captures what we believe the essence of what gaming and entertainment could and should be. So help spread the word as you see our socials all change to Elder Eye Entertainment, but rest assured everything you have fallen in love with so far will not change. For more in-depth breakdown of what this brand change is, stay tuned for our live intermission on Twitch tonight, and look for the video on our social networking sites, all now under the name Elder Eye Ent, E-N-T, or find the link to them at eldereyent.com.
Now some sponsors. The world of Kryn was forged by reorcs, the divine power of creation when he struck his hammer into the anvil of time, forcing chaos to slow his cycle of destruction during the age of starbirth. It is said that the sparks that flew from that single blow, forging the world, became the stars themselves.
Until chaos was put into the gray gem. Sorry.
However, I believe they were harnessed by the great adventurers Beetle and Grimm and forged into Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen Campaign Companion Box Steel Edition. Those embers of creation, I believe, were coalesced into the full campaign book, broken into 5 booklets, including a player-only character creation booklet, 4 area maps and key locations, a poster map of the continent and Salon, 13 full-page dungeon maps, 12 gridded battle maps and key combat areas, 25 in-world handouts, 4 in-world artifacts, 60 encounter cards, 27 affiliation cards for the Kryn Pantheon, the Knightly Orders, and the Mage Orders. Art pulled from the book, including an 11 by 17 piece by Jed Chervrier. Sorry if I said that wrong. 3 bonus encounters written by the goblins at the Pandemonium Warehouse, 6 special NPCs and DM aids and DM reference guides.
This is the steel. In a pear tree.
This is the steel box?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right. But pre-order your Steel Edition box today so that you can have the very essence of Kryn Cosmos to wield at your fingertips. At the very least, is a shit ton of work already done for you making the game prep so much easier, but also a more immersive and visually enrapturing experience. And it's Kryn, and it's Dragonlance, which is my favorite setting of all time. So you should totally go get it.
Hi, how you doing? I have a question for everybody.
Oh no.
How many sets of dice do you own?
Not as much as you.
My lawyer says I'm not allowed to answer that.
One.
I maybe 10.
7-ish. Okay. I'm sitting at about 800 at this point.
Yeah, we know.
And of this collection, I would say 60 to 70 sets are from Die Hard Dice. I love Die Hard Dice. They make beautiful dice. They make all sorts of dice. You should head on over to their website, dieharddice.com. Take a look around, see what you like. If you need recommendations, let me know. I have many. They've got metal dice that are, they have polymer dice that are, they have accessories that are, So head over to dieharddice.com, and while you're there, use discount code D4BFFs or D4BFGs. With an S on the end of both of them, and get yourself a little bit of a discount. We got a discount for you. Means you can buy more dice. You got to catch up. Let's go.
Gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
Pump it up.
Is that me?
Yeah, that's you.
Okay, just one second, if you wouldn't mind. Just real quick.
Oh no.
It's happening.
Behold, it is I, Eldon Kevin, once again. Even more powerful than I've ever been before. Here once again to tell you Eldritch Foundry, the ultimate power that comes from within my basement and maybe a very talented team of workers from another company, but mostly my basement where I lair and wait and hide for more power. You want Eldritch Foundry miniatures on your table? Of course you do, for they are only the finest possible. And even now, we have thought up a new powerful way to make your characters using lineages. Do you want your character to be representative of your ancestry? This is the perfect way to do so. Eldon Kevin deems it so impossible with the mighty power of his fist, and also the questionable magazine subscriptions he still gets despite it being 2023. So, by all means, check out Eldritch Foundry. Put in hashtag Eldritch into the chat for your chance to win a miniature. Or, if you don't want to do that, you can put D4, is it D4 RPG? What is it? It's been a while. It's been a while for Eldon Kevin. What do they put in the Discord code? What is that?
D4 D&D.
That's the one! So put that in for a code if you don't win tonight, because you need an Eldritch Foundry miniature on your table. They're magnificent. Almost as magnificent as Eldon Kevin. Anyway, that's next person.
Oh God. I don't know how to follow that, so I'm not going to. Cheese is going to. Yeah, hi. I'm Cheese, and I just want to let you guys all know that I really like Idol Champions and the Forgotten Meows. And real exciting news for you guys. So Mark Mear's character from the Black Dice Society named Brother Uriah McCalber. I really think it should be Meower, but that's just my personal opinion. Anyways, Brother Uriah's coming to the Idol Champions. And what's exciting about that is he's a support and healing champ that, completes the Black Dice Society affiliation. And as a faithful cleric of Ezra, Brother Uriah heals nearby champions, as well as increasing their damage. In stressful situations, he becomes possessed by the spirit of Aslan Rex. And, while possessed, he increases the damage of Nahara and any evil champ. Oh, God! I don't like being handled, Mother. So anyways, hold on. Meow. That's all. Oh yeah! Don't forget about the code that's underneath us right now.
Tramboid
Meow.
Moya.
Right, meow.
Tramboy Meowa.
Exactly. So use that. Use your free code. Right, meow. She's out.
I love cheese so much.
And
That was a great job, Cheese.
if you love us, support us at d4dnd.com.
No.
D4. Hold on. There's like four sets
We don't
of
know how
three
to support
letters.
us.
d4dndrpg.com. Thank you.
First try.
It's everything's produced by lovely merch moms. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Go look at it if you don't believe me, and then I don't know. Apologize because you know I'm right. Thank you.
Without further ado, let us immerse ourselves.
Into the Chronicles of D4. And we're back. Last time, on difficult diplomatic discussions with a dictatorate, the party arrived by airship to the beauty that is Evermeet, a secluded isle of elves said to be touched by Arvindor itself, the holy divine forest of the gods. Prince Lamaril, captain of the Sturge airship, orders all the half-elves and orc bloodlines to sequester themselves below deck before they are hailed by the elven cavalry, as Evermeet is known to look unfavorably upon both. I'm done with that.
Noticing some contention, Vinley had to step in to try and convince Amtharm to go below deck, since the old half-elven sailor had spent his entire life trying to reach Evermeet and didn't want to stop looking upon its beauty. She eventually got him to concede by assuring him she wanted him to not just look upon the island, but step upon it, and even defile it in the most natural way possible.
It's all about life, baby.
Once everyone was made safe, the party met with the prince in his captain's quarters. There they discuss how they are to present themselves to the royal council and how they aim to reveal that Lamruil is the true heir to the throne by birthright and by Kingsblade, a sword forged in tradition with age-old magic that only the rightful king can wield. Meanwhile, Harold works his magic to successfully remove the powerful illusion cast upon the prince in order to restore him back to his true elven Adonis figure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometime during the chaos of discussing titles and elven etiquette, Karina was messaged from the shadows to meet the Shadar Kai High Priestess from Kinsholm, deep in the bowels of the ship. When met with the blighted elf, she beckoned her into the Shadowfell itself, where Karina was said to be summoned by the Raven Queen to discuss the dwarven woman's bold actions and even bolder words.
That's how you get to the top, baby.
And through tenacity and pride, Karina declared her sound reasoning, which pleased the matron of raisins. Look, they're
The
both
sun
dark.
maid, if you will.
The sun maid, the exact opposite of the matron of ravens, as she was blessed with the borrowed memories from the fallen of Toril. With this blessing, Karina can now access knowledge and wisdom from all of those who have passed, as if the far traveler was born of this world and had many others' memories.
When she returns, she crafts a skywrite spell into the sky with the elven expression of goodwill, just as the party is hailed by a cavalry of giant eagle riders and a Pegasi captain. However, it is Vinley's sister, Emeria, the High Druid council member, riding atop a rock-sized golden eagle that causes the most alarm as she meets them with extreme hostility and disdain that is primarily focused on her banished sister. It is a tense moment as Emeria interrogates Vinley aggressively about why she has purposefully disregarded her warnings to not come to Evermeet.
We'll be right back.
Oh, those winds of Evermeet.
No, it's fierce winds coming in.
Hashtag professionals.
But
It's ambiance.
this one?
However, after revealing that they have lost Prince Lemuroil, she begrudgingly agrees to allow them a presence before the council and the newly crowned King Durathil.
After the ship is ushered into the harbor, the BFGs and the prince are walked by flanking guards through the Moonstone spires of Luthelspar. The flying ship and military escort draws a lot of attention, as many of the elves are filled with waves of emotion at the sight of the prince and his Natel Kassir, or non-elven entourage. They
That's
eventually...
the mean non-elven entourage.
Yeah, it's the very not polite way of saying it. They eventually make their way up to the Moonstone Palace, where they present themselves before the Council of Elders and King Durathil. When the king arrives, the party notices that the king is the only sun elf amongst a full council of moon elves, all of which were eligible for the throne. And as he sits In a throne only ever housed by moon elves, they also notice most of the council seems complacent in their displeasure, somewhat begrudgingly, yet still respectfully accepting him as their king. The empty queen's seat is then noticeably taken by Vinley's sister, Amiria, who seems to only be the head advisor to the newly crowned old mage king, as she does not wear a formal crown herself. Through some careful words, the group explains that Queen Karina and V, Khan of the Veterox, have come to return the once-lost prince of Evermeet, and to warn them of the coming doom known as the Elder Eye, the far realm entity that seeks to undo all of Toril. This gains them enough respect that they are considered guests of the king to stay within the palace. However, the news of both also causes enough discord and concern amongst the council that the group is dismissed so that the council may deliberate until they are called upon for further discussions. Okay. Just before they leave, they notice Amiria save the king as she keeps him from eating a passing hors d'oeuvre that contains some type of nut. But nothing more can be said as Amiria restates the king's orders that they will be their guests and that they should be taken to their private quarters at this time. They are then escorted out of the Great Hall towards a wing of the palace dedicated for outside visiting dignitaries. However, as they get to the end of one of the grand halls, they are separated from Lamruil, but not before Vinley slyly takes a small clipping from his fingernail.
You all now find yourselves in a lavish and opulent grand entry room that shimmers in opalescent moonstone. Grand archways curved like stylized white bark trees radiates upwards into the vaulted ceilings that Harold notices creates a perfect harmonic acoustics with a nice low hum reverb or a grand choral reverb depending on how loud you intend to be. You find 6 antechamber bedrooms that lead off from the main connecting common room, all of which are identical and immaculate in their own right. Each room, including the main, has an accompanying glass-enclosed balcony. However, the narrow window panes do swivel open no more than a foot to let in a natural breeze. The guards lock you in behind 2 massive ornate doors after clarifying and reassuring you that you are royal guests of His Majesty King Ilinaro of House Durothil, and if you should want anything, simply ask, and in due time shall be yours within reason. And that is where we pick up tonight's story.
It is just past midday when the guards have taken note of Vinley's request for stuffed quippers, hors d'oeuvres, and refreshments. It is not long after that you are all met with a large feast of fish stuffed with a variety of flavorings created by different herbs, cheeses, spices, spinach, tomatoes, citruses, bacons, chilies, etc., and prepared in a variety of ways: baked, braised, buttered, sautéed, grilled, fried, and blackened. All served on a wrapped large paradise leaf that fade from an ombre color of a verdant green to the warm sunset colors of yellows and reds.
That's just showing off.
There is an assortment of paired vegetables, nuts, berries, fruits, as well as a myriad of wines and teas. There is even a small bowl of 10 deep purple acai-like berries. Karina, you instantly recognize these as good berries.
Yeah.
And you know that when eaten, one berry will restore 1 HP and offer nourishment to the creature for the entirety of the day, if you so not to wish eat any of the grand buffet that is before you.
I'm just going to pocket a handful.
You also know that they only last a day.
Yeah.
So,
Just in case.
yeah. But you're left to your own devices in this grand common room with a grand feast, and each of you all have a bedroom plus 1.
Are there fish
nope.
other than quippers?
Well, plus 1 if a group couples. Are there any other fish besides quippers?
Yes.
No, because quippers is all that was requested.
You see both Harold and Petunia kind of
Do you want something? I could make something for you. I could totally make something. I mean, this is lovely. But if you want food, I can make you food.
You seem excited. If you want to do it, go for it.
Okay. And I pull out the bag of bounty.
Go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage.
I forgot to get my dice.
Just something feels wrong about the fish that almost killed me.
But in some ways, it's almost like getting revenge, right? You eat them, you won. If
Yeah.
Is it poetic?
Show them who's higher
to
on the
eat
evolutionary
the
chain.
monster?
I'm so sorry, Petunia. I completely forgot.
It's okay.
Have
They're
you
probably
ever,
delicious.
have you ever gotten lobster at a diner?
I got lobster in a vase.
No.
Seisha pulls out diner lobster.
Ooh, it's overcooked.
Yeah.
The butter is not.
The butter is separated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of flavor in it.
Roll there.
It tastes like it's been frozen at some point.
I'm literally just imagining Lego Batman with the Lego lobster on the plate that he shoves in the microwave.
That's basically.
And it's
what it
definitely definitely like large prawn size. It's not lobster
Yeah.
size.
Yeah.
While they were doing
You
that,
sure this is a lobster and not like a mighty crawdad?
I mean,
Mighty crawdad.
it's probably shellfish.
I mean, there's a shell on it.
It's not a quipper, and she starts eating it.
Billy's going to refresh the telepathic bond for everyone except for Lamaril this time.
Harold goes, ooh, berries, and pops one in his mouth. Is like, that was absurdly filling.
Yeah, you no longer have any hunger. You actually have no thirst either, and you feel a little bit rejuvenated, kind of like you just had an energy drink or a coffee, but that's it.
Pretty
These
good.
elves
right?
really know how to make a berry.
Can I investigate these with like Arcana or
Of course.
Nature to see who made them? If I can do that.
You won't be able to tell who made them, but
I
you
wanna
can
make
see
sure there's-
how they are made.
I want to make sure it doesn't have a specific magical tag on it.
Okay.
Peanut.
Nope.
12.
12?
I mean,
Yeah. Dang.
they're good berries.
I'm scared that my
They're-
sister, the
Are
druid,
they
made
peanut
them.
good berries?
I said there are nuts amongst the
Are there
assortments.
peanuts?
There are peanuts.
Harold,
Yeah.
so would you like to do some heralding that is a little bit schemy?
Oh, you know, I'm happy to serve my queen.
So and she's trying her best to make like a big wink at you, but it's clearly cartoonish. I'm very allergic to peanuts, like they shouldn't even be in the palace anywhere near me, and it would be wonderful if you would make sure that this palace is a safe place for your queen and get
I
all
will-
peanuts removed from the palace.
I will do everything I can for you. I will.
I don't trust Finley's sister. Something
I
about
get-
the peanuts. I don't trust it.
Are we sure that it was peanuts, though?
Yes,
She said, "Dear, you can't have peanuts."
I'm 100% positive she said peanuts.
Yeah,
All right.
I heard it too.
Can we say that we can hear this conversation?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Me-
you're all there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. and
Karina's
Venus
just
is
trying to
just-
be quiet
yeah,
because
the
she doesn't
peanut
think
thing
people
is, like,
won't
really
listen.
weird. Did something is it a peanut allergy that she just
I didn't
banned it
even
from the
know
whole
elves
land,
could
Binley? Like, what's up with that?
Most elves are actually allergic to peanuts. It's like a 60-40 ratio.
I didn't know that.
What do you
So you
have
guys
in here
just banned
then?
it from the whole land?
Well,
Glad I
peanuts
didn't
are
get that half.
amazing. It's for the people who aren't allergic for them. Like, I'm not allergic to peanuts, and I love them.
But
I gotta
but
go talk
how
to these
did-
guards and see about getting these peanuts removed.
That would be wonderful.
And just for clarification, the guards are not inside the room with you.
Yeah.
Right.
You are royal dignitaries.
Oh yeah, she's just
Yeah.
making sure to leave the volume
I'm gonna-
low enough to not be like, "Hey Harold, I think the queen's gonna kill the king."
Yeah.
I'm gonna scoop the peanuts up into like a bag of some variety, anything like a
Nice.
bowl, and I'm going to kind of take a second to get in character, and
Wait,
then I'm
wait,
going to hustle
love
up to the door, and I'm going to knock twice politely and wait.
Yeah, you knock twice, and you hear an unlocking, and the door opens. Yes, Herald. What does your queen wish for?
Yes, terribly sorry to bother you in this moment, but we should have made it clear to you beforehand. The queen is extremely allergic, almost deathly allergic to all of this variety of nut. I believe they're peanuts. So even the smell can just send her into a fit. If it was possible, we would just very much need all of these removed from any presence she may find herself in within the and I know it's a very tall order, but she is the queen, and we have to do whatever we can to make sure she's safe.
Tamanthiel, it seems that another royal dignitary in the palace is allergic to nuts, and her herald wants us to make sure there are no nuts in all of the palace, or just your room?
Well, I would imagine all of the palace would be the safest. That way, it's to say we were to be brought somewhere unexpectedly and they have, I don't know, brownies. It could be deathly serious.
Even I wouldn't put brownies or peanuts in brownies.
They're not bad on top.
Your Elvish is pretty good. Almost naturally gifted, it seems. But it's still muddied with the swelling of commoner's tongue.
Well, I can't exactly stand up to the scrutiny of the perfect language built by the very people who built it.
I'm giving you a compliment, good sir. You're pretty good for a human.
I'm deeply... He pauses for a moment at that.
Reminder,
Like,
you have a big flower crown created by Karina to hide your ears.
I will kind of chuckle. I don't go out of my way to correct him, but I don't really comment on it. I say, well, I've been trained very, very precisely by everybody that's gotten me into the position that I am today. In any case, do you believe this is something you could field, or is this are we asking too much of the kingdom?
I can assure you that no more nuts will come into your wing, but if the Lost Prince asks for nuts.
Well, of course, yes. You must, just as you're doing your job, I'm doing mine.
So therefore, I cannot promise that all of the nuts in all of the Moonstone Palace will be removed.
I do appreciate your help, though.
But wherever your queen walks, her safety is our priority.
It is my humble pleasure to be standing in a place such as this with people so giving. If there's anything I can do to make things easier for you, perhaps you'd like music.
I have a question.
Yes.
How strange your kingdom must be. You're wearing both a hat and a crown of flowers?
Well, it was a personal gift, the flowers. Allow me to remove them, and I will set the bowl down, and I will take my hat off, and then take the crown off, and put the hat back on.
Ooh. Ooh.
They liked me at first. Let's see how they feel now.
You see the original woman that was speaking to you. Her body shifts in a way that is negative.
Agreed. I understand.
The male, who's a moon elf, kind of just looks, but stays more at like someone who's been trained dealing with dignitaries and things like that.
I will also say the woman is a sun elf.
Insight
Sure.
Of course she's a
on the one who's trying not to
Can we
react.
even see them?
Okay.
If you're
Yeah,
on
I
step-
mean,
Yeah, he's got the door open.
the doors. Yeah, they're not
Okay.
like, they'll.
I
they'll
know.
open, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the room that you showed us is quite large.
Oh, it is quite large. If you want to get close enough to get read on them, you so can.
Can Vinley retreat to one of the private bedrooms?
Of course.
In this
Yeah.
kerfluffle, she
Oh, yeah,
just
absolutely.
disappears.
26.
26. You have learned that of the two, moon elves and sun elves, moon elves are a little bit more forgiving. Seems more curious.
Okay.
This is a queen's herald.
Yeah.
Yep.
The other one is like, oh,
I will.
I just wasted my breath on this.
yeah,
Is what her reaction
Yeah.
is.
yeah.
He's still engaging in conversation as you do that, remove that, and then you were offering to play music as you. I'm assuming you hold up.
Yeah,
The two
I'm reaching
halves.
for my accordion. Yeah.
Oh, very well. But I'm curious. What does a herald need such a strange? Are those two small shields?
No, I'm afraid not. This is a rather new invention in the world of music, the accordion. A bit of a strange
surely that
thing.
can't be an instrument.
Well, I could show you if you'd like. Do you have a particular song you prefer? I know some elven tunes.
I mean, it's not unusual, but I do think that I could listen if you do know any of the elven songs.
I will look over in an effort to try to smooth things over with the woman. We'll be like, "Do you have a request, ma'am?"
I request that you get the song done quickly.
Very well, I will do so, and I will play them my father's favorite tune, which I'm sure is very elven.
Okay, go ahead and make a performance.
If ever I needed a high roll,
I was gonna say,
With advantage because it's his father's favorite song.
if it was their favorite song, sure, but it's not.
I got a 24.
A 24.
That's good.
It's not the best I've ever played, but it's certainly very, very good.
He's a little nervous.
Can I assist Harold by drumming on the table
Are you
to give him advantage?
like
He doesn't need
musically
advantage.
acclimated?
Is that's enough to impress? Okay.
24 is quite good.
Good.
I feel like it could hurt.
I don't know, these elves have high
if you help.
standards.
Yeah, it could hurt if you try to help like that.
They only listen to NPR.
I'll even play it at a slightly higher tempo than normal in an effort to get through it quickly.
Okay.
And as you listens and impressive. You truly are skilled in the musical arts. Your queen must have elevated you from amusing jester and bard to that of her herald for such talent. However, it's still a very strange instrument, but I guess it takes someone very skilled to play it.
And you notice that he is bobbing his head absent-mindedly, just kind of grooving with the music. You are one away from getting her to bob too. But
Rock on. Totally cool with that.
yeah.
Just over the telepathic bond, Harold. You are doing great.
Thank you. I'm terrified over here.
You got
And
this.
I will smile politely to both of them.
Mechanically out of play because he did so well. If anybody were to be doing something, as if someone said they wanted to go off somewhere else, if you were doing anything sneaky, you would have a +5 to this roll currently.
Work. That's a wonderful news to hear.
But you can tell that, especially Seisha, you're watching them, just kind of casually reading it. The Timanthiel, the male elf, wants to continue conversing with you, Harold, but looks over and goes, Is that it? As the other one speaks. You're done?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
And the other one who you know as Tamanthiel says kind of to you, let us know if you need anything.
My absolute pleasure to see both of you, and I will leave you to it. Thank you very much for being my audience.
And he nods, and as he turns back around to take his position back, you hear him humming the tune that you just played.
Love it. Awesome. I will put the accordion back on my back. I leave the peanuts with them. I shut the door. I take the flower crown and put it back on, and then my hat over it, like, okay, tough crowd. Like, I don't say that out loud, but that is the face Harold's making, like, wow. And then he'll come over and he'll sit down, kind of dust himself off, and he'll look to Karina and be like, was it too much? Did I go too far?
No, you did great. Taking off the hat was an extremely bold move, but I applaud your gumption.
I was afraid if they found out later, they'd feel like I was lying to them. Better just knock it out with these two right away, because I'm trying to make some friends here specific to us, not necessarily the whole kingdom.
Are you prepared for everyone in the castle to know that fact about you within the next 30 seconds?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because if there's one thing that I know from my life, it's that all the good gossip comes from the help.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready to rock and roll on that.
Okay.
As someone who's been helped most of my life, I agree.
Okay. I used to hang out in the kitchens, and that's how I knew all the dirty misdeeds of my siblings.
Nice. And then he will look over to you and be like, may I recommend the berries? Is you're eating the shellfish.
Her face isn't swelling, so we're fine.
Yeah, so far she's like, oh, yeah, okay. She's munching away. She's happy. She's like, I don't need to be full yet.
Fair. I don't. They're juicy berries.
Harold, they're berries meant to fill you up for the whole day. How many did you have?
3.
Oh, you're going to be regular.
So you
I
also
think it's
know,
bordering on irregular at this point.
Love.
and you would have seen, they're all about that big.
Yeah.
And so eating 3 of them is a lot, not only mechanically, but they're pretty big.
I mean, who hasn't?
There was
an entire
only a
bag
bowl
cuties?
of 10, so now there are 7 left.
I had taken like 4.
Okay, so now there are 3 left.
Work.
I just did it for the joke, but it's gonna be so much funnier.
Oh my gosh.
But Miss Vinley, what are you doing?
Hello. When I go into the room, I lay down the portable hole and go into it. And oh, by the way, I took a big platter of the quippers. Like not all of them, just like a big chunk of
There's
them.
enough.
Yeah.
There's
And I just
enough.
Take that down into the hole. And I look at my little friends that are all down here. I'm like, hey, I know I usually let y'all out by now, but you can't really go outside. So here you all go. And she puts down the quippers and just stands there while they eat for a second. But
Do you command them to eat?
yeah.
Okay.
You see,
Like,
Yeah,
here y'all
you
go.
set it down and they just...
Go for it.
you see skeletons
it.
mashing it as food just falls through them.
They're doing
Oh my god.
You would think that'd be gross. The zombies are worse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to cast Flock of Familiars.
Okay.
And summon, Safar is already here, Ithil, which is my raven, and Mural, which is the bat. And I'm going to dismiss Mural because I don't need her right now. And I'm going to go back up out of the hole and open that window
Okay.
and try and let Ithil out.
Yeah, there's plenty of, like, it. Imagine your electronic device in front of you,
Yes.
and it's swiveling open.
Word.
But, like, with a center post. So, like,
Gotcha.
you wouldn't be able to squeeze through, but it's like 6 inches on each side.
Perfect. So I'll just slide Ithil out and give her the command to just give me where everyone is. Try your best to find where my sister is. Do not go in the buildings. Just kind of fly around for a little bit. And if anyone looks at you, run away.
Okay. All right.
And
And
this
I
is
want
the
her
Raven.
to do. Yes.
Good to know. Good to know. If there's something that could potentially happen,
Okay.
if we forget, just gently remind us.
Absolutely.
Throw something at them. Be violent.
Yeah.
And your Raven looks undead, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Duly noted.
How undead?
It was from the fight in the vault, not the vault. Under Daggerford, I picked up that bird corpse.
Yeah, you've
So
described
it's got like
it
a
before.
broken neck and it's missing some of its wing feathers.
Simone is just staring at it like,
That's fine.
Simone, get out of my room. She tries to come in as I'm pushing Ithel out. I'm like, no, what?
scary.
Ithel goes, rude, and flies away. And I just kind of want to get a lowdown on the layout, at least.
Okay. As of right now, because it's only been maybe at most an hour,
Oh,
and I'm like pushing it,
yeah.
none of the council members are outside of the council hall.
I just want to make sure that I know it, particularly if my parents are here,
Okay.
if anything weird is happening on the grounds, because I don't want her going inside the building.
Yeah, I understand that, but
And
if anybody were to be outside, I would let you know. People that are outside, a lot of Kingsguard. Yeah, a lot.
and they're patrolling or moving in or moving out.
A lot along the wall. Forget what it's actually called in medieval words, but
Parent.
and then there are rounds amongst the colonnade, arcade, and in the gardens and stuff like that. But in the gardens, it's more so open. It's not like a military training ground like Castle Waterdeep was. It's
Good. Yeah, I just want her to keep an eye on things. And if there's a significant change in vibe, let me know.
you definitely see the gargantuan eagle outside of the palace walls amongst the other mounts, winged mounts that are nesting in the 500-foot tall trees. Yeah.
Yep.
These things
500
are
feet
massive.
tall, 50 feet diameter.
And just so people know, and you all know, I looked up what's the widest tree in the world. It's 17.5 feet. These are 50 feet in diameter. They
Good
big.
God.
That's horrifying.
I have seen a 500-year-old tree before, and I thought that was
Yeah,
big.
the tallest is like 330 feet tall. These are 500.
Oh my god.
They're also
God.
carved out into their own
Is it-
like war towers.
Yeah.
Is it like a forest of them, or are they like separated far enough from each other?
They are separated. Think of them as bigger natural columns that are a protective force for the palace itself. But they.
Does the sun shine through
Oh
it
yes,
all?
yeah. For each
Oh, okay. 'Cause
tree,
I've seen
there is an
forests where it's pitch black.
absent tree in its space. So it's like 50 feet of tree, 50 feet of no tree, 50 feet of tree,
Yep.
continuous.
As soon as I see that bird, Ithel is not going to go towards it, but hover around that area and kind of get the lowdown on what's being kept up there and just get more information up there.
Okay, more information right there. As I just recently said, these are like large guard towers, war towers for the palace itself. You see that there are rope bridges that connect the canopies, and there are balconies and lookouts and arrow. Oh God, what are they called? The arrow slit windows. Carved amongst these trees, and the all of the mounts are perched in the treetop canopy. So it looks like they could instantly.
Descend if they needed to.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Protect. I will continue to sit in this room. Not in the hole because I don't really like when they eat. It's kind of gross.
I'd like to go knock on Finley's door.
Okay. You go and knock on Finley's bedroom.
Finley?
I take a shot of Fade tequila, and I'm like, go ahead.
Hey, can I come in for a second?
Yeah,
Noted.
it's not my door. Just a little baby one, like the...
It's okay.
Sipping
Still
on it.
noted.
Well, this is gonna go
It
well.
still does things. Uh-huh.
Oh, Faye.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Hey, I was wondering if you would do something for me.
Of course.
You may prefer to wait until later, because it's a spell, and I don't know if you feel like you need to save your spells in case of danger. You're kind of scaring me right now.
Why?
You look very intense.
I feel very intense.
I would imagine so. It's kind of an intense situation.
What was your favorite?
I was wondering if you would cast Sending for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Takes 2 seconds. Not right now.
Yeah.
Just write down your message and... Who am I? Gariel.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Just write it down and I'll send it whenever I have a chance. I should have enough magic to do it tonight.
Okay. If you don't, whenever it's convenient, but preferably sooner, you'll understand.
Okay.
You okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have to think about it to know.
Well, Seisha, I don't... That's so rude. They're eating down there. Don't mind them. That's the
What
sound.
that was.
Yeah, the clippers make a very strange sound when you snap them in half. No, but as I was saying, I don't really know how I should feel in this moment. I'm back at... Well, this isn't my home, but I'm back here.
Mm-hmm.
And so much has already changed.
Yeah. Like what? I mean, new king.
New queen. Not queen. Queen?
Is she queen?
She didn't have a crown.
Maybe consort?
I just think she's kind of full of herself, so she sat in the chair.
And
they might
I
be
would
flirting.
think, but I didn't notice any reaction from anyone being shocked by her choosing to sit in the chair. That's what has me worried.
That's fair. No, I think this conversation that she wishes to have at some point will be very enlightening for me, at least. She said a couple things in that audience that my sister was very mean, but she was never stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I would hate the idea that somehow she has grown to become stupid.
Henley, what are the chances that she's controlled?
There are chances for everything right now as far as she is concerned.
I'm planning to request an audience with one of the council members.
Who?
Councilman Amir Kassar.
Oh yes, he was very lovely.
Amakassar. Sorry.
Amakasar.
He was curious about us and not as put off, I guess would be the way to put it. So I'm thinking he might be someone worth talking to maybe align with.
Good. I don't notice those sort of things, so I'm glad I have you people to do that.
If do you want to be there to translate?
Honestly, I think Harold would be better. I know it's like 2 non-elves going to talk to an elf, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm gonna.
He
see
kind
if
of scares me.
I'm gonna see if he speaks any of the other languages I do, but
Good.
yeah, I'll ask Harold.
Good. I'm just going to wait here for my sister. She stares out the window that's still open.
Okay, I'll leave you to it. Do you want me to tell the others you're resting?
Sure.
Okay.
Have a terrible migraine.
Well, I'm not gonna lie for you.
I have a terrible migraine.
Sucks.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Would you like some help?
It's totally
Want a berry?
It's totally coincidental that it started after I walked in the room.
It has nothing to do with Seisha having a conversation with me. Let me clarify
You
that.
can each have berries,
I
I
just
guess.
thought it was Seisha's perfume.
Are we trying to be tactful?
Oh. I hit my room. And I go.
Have you tried knocking yourself out with a spell?
I go enjoy a bath in the bathtub.
Okay, make an Arcana check. Welcome to Elves, baby.
Everything requires a check, baby.
Arcana, I think, is +6.
A Bina spell?
Yes. So that's a 19.
19. Okay.
Takes a second, but you eventually figure out how to turn it on.
Because there's
no knobs, there's no plumbing, nothing.
It's just a basin
One of
made
the
of crystal.
One of the
It's like when you
first
guys
things.
came to where you found me.
I think we took a while for that too.
One of the first things you notice, though, is while you're trying to figure it out, anywhere you touch, and everything is made of Moonstone. If it can be made from, there are certain chairs and stuff like that that can be moved around and things like that that are not. They're carved ornately from woods and things like that. But the tub is built from the ground. It is made of Moonstone, and you're rubbing all over that, trying to find where maybe a secret trap switch or something.
Right.
But everywhere you touch, it's almost like a bioluminescence. A light glows and continues to glow until you rub back over it.
She just kind of pokes it a couple times, grinning, and then continues. Finally figures it out and takes a luxurious bath.
From that Arcana check, you and figuring everything else is you realize that all of this Moonstone everywhere can be turned on, like a light.
All of it.
As much as you want to in your room. Like you would not be able to be like, I'm going to create a beacon by turning on the whole palace.
Right.
But you can be like, I would like my room to turn on.
Got it. Okay. She's going to soak in the tub and write a letter and several times crumble it up and throw it away and pull out another piece until she finishes writing in Elvish.
Okay. Is anybody else doing anything? Before we get there.
Oh.
While you are soaking in your tub and writing these letters,
Alone, sequestered by yourself.
there's a voice that creeps into the back of your mind. We are trapped here. The council was not listening. It is time we make them listen through force.
Do I recognize the voice?
It's familiar.
Who is it?
Kill the council, so Lomerwell can help us, lead us, and the Evermeet army into battle against the scourge that took your mother. That took Waterdeep. That made you feel weak and powerless.
Who are you?
You look down at your disrobed armor and clothes, and there's a glint of silvered steel, mirrored silvered steel.
We now have the power to change the tides, find the opportunity, and force them to listen. Time for words is done. Only action.
once again, your sword is talking to you.
I forgot about it. I think about it daily.
Oh boy. Oh, this is gonna get awkward quick.
Wait.
That sword is a hair's breadth away from being like, you won't do it.
I triple dog dare you.
I gotta try a peaceful approach first. But then, push come to shove, we gotta stop them. However, it takes.
Make a persuasion check.
Is she persuade an inanimate object?
Wait, what do I? No, that's perception. Persuasion.
Some things are sentient.
You can be sentient and inanimate.
21.
Okay. Peace for now.
Okay. I promise I will beat the crap out of something and murder cultists soon.
Yes. Peace now. Stabs later.
Yes. Peace now, stabs later.
That's a t-shirt.
We wait.
I'm gonna go back to bathing.
At dawn we murder.
I'm dirty.
Do you need a bath?
Stained.
Do you like being that way?
No. Have you ever heard of cleaning your blade?
I'll polish you later.
Well, that one just about killed Ray.
Clean me with the blood of your enemies.
I will do that. I will do that, and yes, this will happen.
When you yelled, clean me with the blood of my enemies, my cat, woke up from sleep, stretched, and went back to bed.
Sounds like a good plan.
Oh, man.
Oh shit.
Maybe later.
So while all of that funness is happening, is anybody else doing anything? Are you doing anything in your rooms? The grand room?
V's just stoked about all the fancy elven stuff. Like all the, lush and, what's the word? Expensive isn't it. It's not the word I'm looking for, but you get the vibe.
Yeah. It is.
My brain is not forming words, unfortunately, right now. Yeah.
Harold's flirting with Petunia. He just turns and he's like, so, have you been a herald very long then? I mean, you just seem so talented at the work.
I'm not good at this.
What? Come on, just play along, it's fun.
Harold's trying to do roleplay.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you're right, maybe we should stop.
Harold, it would serve you to learn to turn speaker off.
It would make sense that you could hear him even in your room, because, as we said in the opening descriptors, is that the acoustics of the common room, there is either a low hum that is a very soothing reverb, or a very choir-like choral reverb, as if in a grand cathedral, if you yell, to boost your words. So as Harold tries to coax some fun role play out of Petunia, she puts him in his place. No!
I loved yeah, it's been good. All right. All right. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, before, she was clearly somewhat doing something before he decided to try this. She was going through her spell book and then finally goes back to it and opens up to legend lore. Because I wanted to learn a little things about maybe Evermeet or another subject anyone else might consider worth looking into, considering everyone can hear me.
Sounds good.
I like that look on Devin's face.
Yeah.
Any requests? Any requests? Anyone? Anyone?
Yes.
Something after this. Oh shit.
Yes. Is there phrasing? I'm thinking, asking about the reputations of the council members. Would that be something? Oh no, legend lore can't do that because that's a person.
Yep.
Well, it's more so
person, place, or object.
Yeah, but it's not specific. You literally get the lore of that person.
Yeah.
Get the lore of Venley's sister. If you're okay with that, Venley.
Oh yeah, sure. She hates quippers.
I will remind you that legend lore only works on things that are legendary in its lore.
I mean, she's the high druid of Evermeet.
I'm not saying she doesn't have any merits.
Okay.
But if you're looking for any fine detail that might give you an upper hand, it probably isn't in the legend lore because that wouldn't be legendary.
Got it. Okay.
Would the history of the palace be something?
Yes, specifically if there are any hidden passages.
Oh, that's a good idea. I mean, this place has to be legendary, right? It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The passages may not be, though.
Unless you think there's anything else I can look
And there's
up.
no guarantee that you're going to get specifics like that.
Yeah.
Like, it just, you literally are going to get the Wikipedia page for this palace.
Oh, that's a big page.
What about
They're scrambling over there.
How?
Wikipedia page.
It's the Forgotten Realms wiki page.
The Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I guess they would fall into the purview of the actual palace, but I was thinking about the throne itself. I think it would just fall within the palace.
Probably.
I think we get more out of the palace. I'm trying to think if there's. We saw so many incredible places on the way here, but I don't think any of them are like pertinent to us yet.
Because I don't think I could do. I don't think I could cast it on the lineage, because that's not quite how royalty works here, if I understand correctly.
Well, it was, and then they had no members of the royal family left.
Could you cast it on the peerage and just look through the
history?
Yeah, the history of the noble titles?
It can only be a person, a place, or an object.
Yeah. Seems like the palace might be the closest thing we can get. Unless we want to go with one specific person.
What about the mythal crystal we're looking for? Mythal? Is that the right one?
Mythal is the spell, Mythalar is the...
Mythalar crystal.
Mythalar crystal?
Yeah.
Okay.
If there's a
That's
Mythalar
probably not
crystal on Evermeet.
That would be.
Any objections?
No.
I don't know how much you'll get from that.
Well, we already know the backstory of how it was made and why.
Right.
That's true.
I'm thinking more of
We
where.
don't know anything about the palace, really, outside of, like... I think that even... This is the first time you've been in the palace, too, Vinley, right? Is that right?
It has. I've
So
never
we're
been this
all
close.
in the dark on that one.
Let's do the palace then.
Okay. And she will cast legend lore over the Palace.
Palace, the Moonstone
Palace.
Palace. Okay, so I'm going to go through a couple of things and then we'll get you some cool little notes and details. The first thing you see is 300 families, 300 elven bloodlines.
That's a lot given their life range.
Yes. And you all see them stepping forward. You see sun elves, moon elves.
Green elves, sea elves.
Mostly sun elves and moon elves.
Yep.
And from that 300, you see them all gathered together as they all step forward and claim moonblades. And one by one, you watch them all disintegrate down to a fraction of their numbers. You watch bloodlines end, names completely erased from the histories of elven lore as they are returned to Arvindor. You watch these blades that have been touched and disintegrate, lose all magical prowess as fewer and fewer and fewer of them exist. You see many sun elves aim for the throne as more and more, despite watching bloodline after bloodline be ended, continue to go forward, and you start to see that only moon elves are the ones that seem to consistently wield these blades. And you see that some of them, if they are not worthy, they do not disintegrate, but the blade loses its magic still. There is one blade in the end that is held by who you know to be King Zaur, Moonflower. And that is the King's Blade. After all of those bloodlines, there is only 13 Moonblades left and one King's Blade of the 300 that were originally forged.
Didn't Voss have one of those?
Voss had a moon-touched blade, which is
I'm making a distinction.
a minor one that is granted to either high military personnel or specifically high priests of Sahanin Moonbow.
That's where we found it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm going to have to pay penance for that later.
From those, you see... Okay. From those, you see a palace being grown as the families come together in honor of the Moonflowers, doing a high elven magic mythal, creating and birthing literally all of Luthal Spar from Moonstone itself. You see that it is imbued with many, many magics. You know that all spells cast within the throne room and royal chambers are automatically counterspelled at 9th level. Even healing spells. Only Wish can negate this.
Throne
Or
room
get
and which
past
one?
it.
Throne room and...
The throne room or the audience chamber, or or the king and queen's royal chamber.
It's their,
You said all
secret.
spells are counterspelled?
Mm-hmm.
Every single one.
What
Okay.
about when you have up that you walk into the room with? Like if you had bless on,
It is
and you
not
walked in, it
Fucker in the
was...
not an
palace
anti-magic
is not
field.
my life story.
Okay.
Yes.
It's not an anti-magic field, it's just a counterspell.
Yep.
Just a
Yep.
automatic counter.
Does it-
Negates.
The one that turns into animals, that helps.
Does it render magic items inert within
Not in
its-
any magic field. It is. Yep. If you were to cast a spell, it would be countered.
Got it.
Magic items are also not affected because it is not an anti-magic field. You learn that astral projection, teleport, plane shift, word of recall, dimension door, misty step, gate, and any other teleportation spells cast for these reasons simply fail everywhere. As do the effects of banishments on creatures to another plane of existence.
So it's plain
Ooh.
lockdown.
It has a dimensional lock.
Well, this spell is already worth its weight.
Yeah.
These restrictions apply to racial abilities, magic items, and artifacts that have these properties to transport or banish creatures to other planes as well. Magic that allows transit into the border ethereal, such as the spell Etherealness, is the only exception to this rule. However, this does not allow you to pass through solid walls and floors made of Moonstone, as you would typically be able to move through with Etherealness. But you can, if you had the spell, you could go into the ethereal plane and maybe converse or see something different. Magic that summons creatures or objects from other planes functions normally in the palace, as does magic that involves an extra-dimensional space, such as your portable hole. Any spells cast within an extra-dimensional space are subject to the same restrictions as magic cast in the palace. So you can't go into your portable hole
And start
and
teleporting.
then start teleporting. Spells can't destroy or alter the shape of the palace's magically protected ceilings, pillars, columns, walls, and floors. For example, the earthquake spell would not trigger a ceiling to collapse or create fissures in the palace. Furnishings not made of Moonstone are not protected from this. All main doors, meaning the one to the common room but not to the one to each individual bedroom, is under an arcane lock.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
You have dealt with arcane locks before. You know that they can be broken with expert lockpicking and or B&Es, but it's really hard.
I don't have a negative dex modifier anymore, so that's good.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. It's different. Also the gardens are blessed by the Seldaring themselves.
Love that.
Yep.
Yep.
So no matter the season, no matter the weather, they will endure.
Okay.
That's what you get on the palace.
Excellent. So she spends like the next however many minutes it takes just furiously writing all this down. And then she finally gets to the bottom, like, oh, that's lovely. The gardens are blessed by the Seldarines.
That's nice.
Okay.
Oh, and all of this.
Oh, and I'll show everybody else what she wrote.
I took very bad notes, but I took them quickly.
I saw something in chat. Because you know this, you did notice that they were doing message. There might be other privileges to people at
being
royal
on
seating.
Yep.
I was
could
saying, I don't know how legend lore could counterspell back at me, so.
You're not in the royal chambers, but when you were in the royal chambers, them speaking.
Yeah, the council members were casting message to each other, but
Yes, you are. You're right. Okay, cool. Good. Thank you for the distinction.
It's probably those pendants that they wear.
could be something.
Because you said magic items still work, right?
Yes.
There are earrings of message.
Is that it for Petunia? I have a question for Bentley.
Oh, of course, yeah. I believe that's all for what you were going to do, Petunia, as for right now. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna go over. You're in your room, right? I'll just knock on the door.
Come in.
Hey. You
Hello.
come in and close the door behind me.
How are you?
I'm alright. Feels kind of weird acting like my mom because I fucking hate her. I had kind of an uncomfortable question, but I have a plan.
Okay.
Part of a plan. Are your parents still alive?
Of course.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, I haven't spoken to them since I've been banished, but they were...
You've been gone a long time. And your sister's kind of a bitch.
But they always loved her. They were
Yeah,
all
but-
very nice to each other.
But she loves power more. I'm just... Can you talk to people across great distances?
Yes.
Can you just check on them for me?
You're worried about my parents?
Yes.
Okay. You know, frankly, Karina, I hadn't considered even thinking of their well-being. Why do I care? Why should I?
Because if they're dead, your sister probably has a much bigger upper hand than we realize. And we should probably be prepared.
Okay. I'll check on them.
If they don't answer, I have my own ways of checking on them.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll leave you to it. I'm gonna awkwardly leave the room.
And Vinley just sits there wringing her hands for a second, smiling to herself when Karina leaves. The moment the door closes, the smile drops. All right, then. I guess we'll do this. I'm going to cast Sending
Okay.
to Amra Galanodo.
Mm-hmm.
Mother, I have come back to Evermeet. I'm checking on you for your safety to make sure you are okay. Vinley. And then I'll wait.
You received no reply. However, you haven't received a reply from Lam Ruel either, but you specifically told him not to reply. You've sent sendings to your sister.
I never considered the stack of sendings of like, sorry, they're busy.
You just have it on hold.
Yeah, I just have a call on hold.
And you have sent sendings to your sister and other people, and it took them a while to respond.
Over the telepathic bond, I did it. For everyone else that's out of context, for Karina,
Did what? Do you need
Did
me?
what?
It's a thing. Don't worry about it. All in telepathic bond. Do you want me to do my thing, or did it go okay?
it went actually pretty great.
Okay, just Oh, nat one. Okay.
Nat one on a deception to everyone.
Okay. Thanks for letting me know. I'm going to, as Vinley's described her parents before, I want to try and see if I can see potentially the final moments of either of Vinley's parents. As I imagine, if I can't see anything, then they're still alive.
Neat. Neat, using this blessing in a way that is not intended.
Sorry, the D&D conundrum.
They love it when we do that.
I do. With the caveat that we always say that this is really cool. We'll allow it to work this way, this time, and possibly future times, as long as it's not abused.
Oh yeah, no.
I will require a roll.
Yes.
I'm going to say
Plus.
go ahead and roll a d20 and add your wisdom modifier.
Yeah.
Wisdom.
Yep, and you would need guidance for this, not bless.
That's it. Bless. Or guidance.
Just FYI, because it's an ability roll.
No, that's an 11.
An 11 total.
Well, luckily for you, I have two parents.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow!
We can say that one was
Yes,
for
the D&D conundrum.
that one was for the
Wow, you have two
mom.
parents.
That was for
Pretty
the
nice.
mom. I can
We'll
check for the dad.
We'll allow one more, and
Rule
then
of two?
that'll be it.
Wow!
We're just throwing everything back in your face.
Yes, borrowed petards.
Yep.
24.
24.
And this
That was
one's-
a nat 19 plus 5.
Nice.
Okay. You. It's a. Man,
Poor
I like this
Vinley.
more.
Okay.
You should harebrained. Don't look like you don't know what he's thinking.
You feel a chill wind. It's dark. You hear a druidic chant around you. You being a druid,
Actually understand it.
it's a funeral rite.
Wait, so I'm standing there hearing a funeral?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Am I standing or am I laying on the fire?
You are sitting.
Okay. I was making sure it's not a chant around me.
No, that would mean that you are still alive in this moment.
Yeah,
you are currently a living person
You never know.
at this time.
Yeah.
And this
Because
is
you know, in
Nasir.
order to pull this memory, the person you're pulling from must also be fallen.
What is so? It's a druidic funeral chant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you see who the funeral was for?
I'm not going to push my luck with them.
And there's a full moon, and you can see that in the center of the circle, in one of the druid groves, is a pyre. And there is a body laid upon it. Wreathed in a nice lace, but you can tell it is a natural lace. One that looks similar to the way but like floral, ivy, things
Okay,
like that.
yeah.
Nice.
And it looks feminine in figure.
You can feel the tears wet on your cheeks.
In the chant, you can feel the ebb and flow of the energy of nature around you, almost as if you are communing with the plants and the trees themselves. You can feel the earth, you can feel the wind, you can feel the water from your eyes. And you can feel the pain beginning to grow in your heart as it grows in everyone else's. And with the end of the chant comes this thundering boom of fire as the pyre is lit ablaze. And you get up. You all begin to dance in honor of a fallen high druid, archdruid, not the high druid, a fallen archdruid. And you hear a name said amongst the cries of all of those in this grove. Where is it? What is your mother?
Anaria?
What is your
Nara,
mother's
right?
name?
Amira.
Amra.
Amra.
That's it.
As Amra Galanodo has left this mortal plane and is ascending her way into the heavens of Arvindor.
Oh no.
Is that it for the vision?
Eventually, at the end of this funeral rite that lasts almost all night long. It continues until the last ember goes out. You're walking back, assumedly home, and you hear a voice behind you speak your name. Sounds muddied. I'm looking through your mirrors. I apologize.
Nasir.
You hear the muddied word, Nasir.
It's almost like and you turn around, eyes piercing the darkness, as you watch one of the trees themselves almost separate and split open. But it doesn't split open like a tree stride. Almost like if you were to peel back lichen and you see the strings of its inner workings away. And you see this face, almost skeletal, bone thin, but with patches of fungal growths growing on it as it just reaches out.
Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Okay. $18.
In the glints of possibly your last moments, or at least the end of this vision, you see something opalescent glowing in the chest of this creature's rib cage, almost like a heart.
Rhea's cussing.
And he leans out as you take a step back, as this creature, arms and body, both skeletal thin but seem to be made of both lichen and bark itself, fingers long and sharp. It just raises a finger and points. Die! And with that single word, everything goes dark.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, 1 second.
Oh no, Karina, no! Oh, Vinley, no! Oh, this is so sad! Get your cup ready, Dustin. Fuck.
Wisdom saving throw?
Yes, please.
You got this.
You wise?
It's a nat 1 for a 10.
No! No!
Wait, would my guidance add to that?
Am I within 10 feet of you?
Be honest, where were you when you doing this?
I left Venley's room, closed the door, and went back to where the food was, and just like sat down to do it because she didn't know what to expect.
Where are you in this moment? Because the last time we left
Once
you...
I was done bathing, I would have gone back to the common area. It's y'all's call.
Roll me a percentile.
I mean, it's
We'll
a
see.
natural one.
Yeah.
Within
What
10
about
feet
if
of
I
you.
gave her my 9?
Okay.
It's
It'd give her a plus
Yeah.
3, but
then
You could give her your 9, Petunia, absolutely. It would not be a natural 1.
So it wouldn't have. I mean, you probably wouldn't have as much like of a consequence, I imagine, because I imagine it's probably gonna be a bad consequence.
okay,
I'd
Oh, I
say-
also didn't roll wheel and woe today. Sorry.
all good.
That's wheel. So I can add a d6 to my roll.
I
So,
wouldn't.
Petunia, you can absolutely give her this 9 in this moment. Because, you know.
And if you are doing that, it's go ahead and roll a percentile. I'll say There's a 50-50 chance. If you get above 50,
You're there. Otherwise, you're still getting out of the bath.
or the room is large enough that you're
That
not.
you're not
able to-
within 10 feet, which is also probable.
What if it's 50 exactly?
51 and above, you are there.
14.
All right.
Okay.
You were there, but it's just too far away.
So it's the 9 plus whatever your wisdom save is, because
Use that
That would
nine.
be 18.
Take it.
18.
And I'm going to take a wheel just to be safe.
Okay.
Yep.
Woo! 23.
That is way better.
Yeah!
Way better.
No, fucking
Yep.
Whitley Ray.
Uh-huh.
Just trying to help you, bestie.
I love you so
Damn.
much.
And with that, you are shunted back, in, like almost like not like stumbling back as your
Yeah, she sat down to
yeah
do it.
as the vision of that memory just hits you as whatever this like as this word is spoken, you felt your heart stop for a breath.
For those that know what was
Did you eat
just
two of the
uttered.
berries too?
Hmm?
You just had that look like you ate 2 berries.
Karina, are you okay?
No.
Hey, what's wrong? Karina, what's wrong?
I can't talk about it right now.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
I'm worried about Venley.
Yeah.
I think we all are.
No,
Yeah.
I'm really worried about Venley.
Why? Just everything?
I think her sister's worse than we thought. I think everything's worse than we thought. Much worse.
Should we go get Venley?
No, not yet. I'm
Can
not
I get
ready.
you some wine?
No, thank you.
Water?
No, thank you. I think I'm gonna throw up.
Okay.
And she's gonna run to the bathroom and throw up.
When you need to make it go down, hit it on the right hand side.
I missed.
I'll be right there.
Yep. There's no, just so you know, there's no like plumbing.
Yeah, no, she walked in, saw nothing, and just threw
Yeah,
up on the
and
ground.
it's instantly prestidigitated away.
Word.
Oh, never mind. It's fine.
'Cause elves.
Okay.
Why would you not?
Yep.
This is great for when I spill everything.
Harold's gonna look over to Seisha and V with this, and Petunia with this kind of look like, okay, so I'm not like wrong in saying that was pretty sudden, right?
Yeah.
So that was weird. I will be honest. Is there something going on that I don't know about?
I think there's something going on that none of us know about, and I think maybe when Karina has a strong feeling about something, it's almost always right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So maybe it's a druid thing?
Let's just keep an eye on both of them.
Over
think
the
it's a good idea.
telepathic bond. Venley, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Wait, is this in the group or just to Vinley?
Yeah, everybody. It's a group chat.
Vinley doesn't say anything.
Karina, what's gonna happen to Vinley?
I don't know.
Oh no.
What?
We need to be careful. Much careful than we were being before.
As Karina says that, in the private room, Vinley is finishing the bottle of fake tequila.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
You are granted the haste ability. As everything around you slows down, like very obviously. You could watch Savard's flaps of her wings very slowly almost as suspended in animation, and the world around you, ever since you took the sip, has been vibrant with colors. The iridescence and opalescence that radiates off of the Moonstone that you saw the sun cascading over Luthelspar create this like prismatic like haze, right, is now nothing but an intense vision. And you see quite a few things.
As you were sitting by the window, just watching the courtyard, just inside the palace walls, protected by the legion of gold elf warriors and the massive redwoods beyond them, you start to see whimsical creatures. A small swarm of fairly large bees, roughly the size of a large grape. They're fuzzy, with a long shag of golden, yellow, and black. You notice it has strange, fluffy, fat, wide tail that flattens with a stretched membrane between its fore and hind legs to help it glide, resting its wings from carrying its weight. It looks like a cross between a sugar glider and a bumblebee, as it lands to collect.
It was a real gasp.
As it lands to collect the pollen and nectar from one of the exotic flowers growing in the garden. All of a sudden, one of the 4-starred petal flowers snaps closed around the small bee-like creature, revealing it to be a vibrantly green bird whose feathers look like leaves and the twisted ends of vines. It swallows hard before opening its quadrisecting beak and settling without movement once again.
As you continue to look out, you see grass-furred ferrets. A wet tarsier-looking creature with a dripping fungus for a hat. It looks wet all the time.
I love him.
And like shakes like a chihuahua. You see something that is a visual mixture between a feline and barn owl. And more. And because you drank the whole bottle, and we'll give you this without having to make the perception check.
At first you see what you think is a mouse, or a small rodent, before you see the small bundle of brush and fur has glass gem eyes, and 2 tiny horns that protrude from the top of its featureless face. Its tiny little arms and legs only make it look more adorable.
You're probably going to kill me.
You can make a nature or arcana check if you so wish.
I'm going to go with Arcana.
It is I, Lucifer, the Dark One.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. This is a fake creature known as a chewinga.
It just says, "Hey, my name's Biandra.
I'm looking for my son, you seen him?
Have you seen my son Kevin? I think he stole my karaoke machine."
Do I know if they're able
specifically.
to communicate?
Hold on.
Okay.
Specifically, this is a hornlet chewinga.
Oh.
Most of the time, you know chewinga to be elemental creatures. This one is Feyborn. And it is a mischievous sprite creature that is said to cause deja vu. Some say it's because of time manipulation. Some say it's because of illusion magics, and some say the Fey creature can see the future itself and whispers thoughts into your mind telepathically, trying to warn us of something.
Hello, friend.
But no one knows what it is for sure. And as you're looking at it, it eventually locks eyes with you.
Hello, I say in Sylvan.
And it is a good distance away.
It is out in the garden.
Hello.
And
I wave down.
it just looks at you. And you see it
His head kind of moves, its fur like shimmies, but it's more like, is it fur? Is it a little ball of hay? Is it just lint?
Yeah. And you blink, and now it's sitting on the window sill, right in front of you, just looking up at you.
Hello?
It tilts, and then
It does not seem to speak anything. And
Can I hold out my finger as if to like shake hands?
and it holds out a tiny little hand with 4 fingers and just touches you, and you feel an arcane, wild magic surge course through you. And then all of a sudden, you blink.
and it's gone.
Well,
Oh.
you blink, and it's back at the thing, and you touch its finger once again, and you feel that wave once again, and then you blink, and it's gone. And you are under the 9th level foresight spell for 1 minute.
Yep.
Think of something.
I wanna see the future.
Do you know what that gives you?
I don't.
Okay.
Okay. So. Yep. So you have advantage on all attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws.
The creature is bestowed with a limited ability to see into the immediate future, and to you, it feels like deja vu.
Yep.
The immediate future. I want.
But you have you can't be surprised.
Okay.
You have advantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws, and other creatures have disadvantage on attack rolls against you for this duration. Typically, the spell lasts 8 hours
You get it for 1 minute.
because that's how deja vu works.
Yep. You get a minute of being super fast and seeing the future.
So, super fast and being able to see the future. Vinley's going to scan the courtyard with that sense of deja vu and try and find a satyr or a nymph or an intelligent fae, like one that can actively speak.
Okay,
and
got it. Go
communicate.
ahead and make a perception check. You have advantage.
This is like my favorite episode of Futurama where Fry drinks 100 cups of coffee in a day.
Yep.
Yes!
I was thinking of the same thing.
Literally my favorite episode.
I was thinking of Over the Hedge.
Yes. That is a 28.
28. In the garden that is blessed by the Seldarine, who are touched by the Feywild itself, but to them known as Fairy, but not Fairy. So Fatty. You see a shrub just kind of move before horns stick out of it, and at first you're like, it's a bigger one, and then a satyr kind of gets out, and then a nest of pixies kind of flutter away.
I'm gonna shout out in Sylvan. Hey!
Startles like a goat. Ah!
How far away?
That in the Danny DeVito. Where he's like, animals.
Ray's done.
Hundreds of feet away from me, you said?
Mm-hmm.
From the tower to the thing? I'm going to cast Sending.
Okay.
Could you deliver a message for me to as many people as you can? Deliver it to. I have incredibly interesting instruments. My name is. That's 25.
Okay.
So anyway, I started blasting.
May I offer you a good berry in this trying times?
It's a massive good berry. It's a white one. It's weird. It has a yellow core. Come on.
He's just coming out of a couch, oiled up.
Oh, that is the single most disturbing image I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
He's a satyr.
It like stops and like tilts its head. It doesn't respond, but it looks at you. And you get a reply.
I've never been more thankful for knowing Sylvan in my entire life.
What are you willing to bargain?
Abandoned ship!
Joel, you stepped into it now.
And
Sorry,
again,
sorry. What are you willing to bargain?
and
We almost
again,
got a
time
photo.
is just like massively slowed around you. But
Yeah.
this is happening in like
Karina's
turn-based
slow-mo
rounds.
throwing up on the other side of the room.
The message is important enough. Name your price.
Roll a d100.
Jesus.
19. I read it backwards at first. I went 91. That was a high number.
This is the pit fiend all over again.
No. Fey creatures, I know.
This is fun now.
Oh, God.
Danny Demino?
No.
He's a demon?
No.
Danny Camaro.
Whenever you are in the presence of holy water, this is not conveyed to you. It's just this feeling. It is. Fays deal with emotions, so this is an emotion you feel. As this creature was seen in the gardens, blessed by the Seldarine itself.
What was he doing with the
Anytime
sprites?
you see holy water, you must drink yourself to extreme fill.
Work. I'm a holy
And
woman.
that means if you're in the gardens, those are blessed by the Seldarine.
Uh-oh.
You about to just...
But I have an innate understanding of like, wow, that water looks so good.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh.
But it's not like you're not like, I must get to that right now and drink it. It's just like you're there. Oh, I am so thirsty, and that is like the most quenching looking.
just like
That pretty water.
Yep.
fucking chocolate fountain burn.
Like-
You're-
under the fountain.
Crispy water.
That
Does
is
this water
one
taste so
feeling you
good?
get.
Uh-huh.
The juxtaposition feeling you also have is your elven etiquette telling you that would be the worst thing for you to do.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So like I'm like,
And
The epitome of intrusive thoughts.
I'm just thinking about when the king lifts his goblet to his mouth.
don't worry, he doesn't drink holy water.
You're doing your
but
baptism
you
today.
get the sense that waiting on that message.
Spread to as many people as possible. The rightful heir to the Evermeethian throne has returned, and any good-natured Fae should come and welcome him.
Tight.
Kicking off that war.
There's like a
Hell yeah.
moment where
Hell yeah.
he stops, or he's listening, and then this mischievous grin just spreads across his face. Yes. And he
I live
just
for bad face shit.
smiles and just takes off.
And
Even in the slowed down time, like this thing, the only thing you think would be quicker would be a quick link.
Yeah. And then I think as she notices that, everything comes back to her of what is actually happening on the other side of the door, and the haste falls
Yep.
from her
Reverse.
as she collapses to the ground.
Got it. All
Because
right.
her brain just went through like
Uh-huh.
800 different things in 5 seconds.
I would like to do this.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you're sending a paper bird.
I am. Do we have any more? That's the question.
Or are you giving it to the guards to give to?
If I have a paper bird, I'm gonna send it by paper bird because privacy's good. If I don't, then I'll give it to the guard.
Okay.
I have one left for what it's worth.
Nope, I got 3. So
Word.
yes,
Okay.
I am using a paper bird. Thank you, though.
For the audience, could you please read the note aloud?
Yes. All right. Honored Counselor Amakasir, I am hoping to speak to a member of the Council of Evermeet to explain the situation with the planar intrusion of the elder evil known as the Mother of Monsters, who is the herald for the arrival of one known as the Elder Eye. I realize language may be a barrier. I can speak the common tongue, the language of dragons, or the speech of the Celestials. If none of these are mutual languages, I can arrange a translator from our party. I appreciate your consideration of this request. May the sun and moon rise to meet you. Lore Seeker Seisha Valisbard.
Very well written.
As you send that paper bird off, it whisks away through one of the turned panes.
That's where we're gonna take a break.
Word. Thank
And
you.
then a ballista shoots it out of the sky.
Damn it! Giant eagle!
It's a lunch.
Wow.
Wow.
Y'all ever just have an idea in a game and you think this might be cool and then you regret it real hard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a vibe.
Are y'all tired after giving us all that lore?
We actually had DM notes, hey, this is how the palace works. And then we had the backlog of information of the history of the Moonblades. And I was like, yeah, that
Nice.
sounds good.
Nice.
But thank you all so much. Stick around for the intermission video. A little video will play, kind of explaining a little bit about our rebranding.
Watch it till after the logo.
And we'll be back in about 20 minutes or so. If you haven't done so already, please enter hashtag Eldritch for your chance to enter to win an Eldritch Foundry miniature. And apologies for the Idle Champions peeps out there. We know that there are some issues with the code. The wonderful peeps at Idle Champions are working away on it, but it is unfortunately out of our hands.
It was Rhea's fault.
So, but we'll be back soon.
Yeah. See you then.
Hey everyone, I'm Dustin.
And I'm Devin. We're the co-DMs of D4.
We have a big new announcement that is happening for the D4 community as well as the TTRPG community as a whole.
That's right, you might see some changes in the space that you frequent here as we move forward in rebranding ourselves. The main change is the company name, and we're moving forward with Elder Eye Entertainment.
And with that name change comes a brand new logo, and we are so excited to unveil our new logo designed by our good friend Jeffrey N. Baker, who also designed our D4 logo.
With this change comes some name changes on Twitch, YouTube, and all of our socials.
You may also see several stuff on new socials such as TikTok, which we plan to do some of your favorite moments and our favorite moments as highlights from our favorite shows. And even though we are rebranding to Elder Eye Entertainment, we'll still have D4 every Sunday with the same crew, the same cast, the same silly shenanigans that brings you both tears from laughing and crying.
Yes. We will still have our Discord and Patreon for our dedicated fans of the show, so don't fear that all of that's going to go away, because it's not. It's staying here for you because we love you as our fans. There just might be more things in the future.
Speaking of future, we have an amazing team and crew that have allowed us to build ourselves up beyond just a Sunday TTRPG live actual play show.
Yeah, we're moving into becoming an actual full production studio, which means that we need to represent ourselves as such, but that also means more content for you to enjoy.
And with that new content, it's going to allow us to push ourselves and push that brand of what you think an actual play is further into being more immersive, both visually and audibly, in a more cinematic style.
We also have plans to provide more content just beyond the TTRPG experience, so stay tuned for those announcements in the future as well. We want to thank you already for your years of support, and know that it is now appreciated more than ever.
We have some really awesome and amazing content coming up in the future, but we need your help building the brand more so than ever, so more people can enjoy the same things you do.
not everyone will see this video, so we need your help spreading the information and the enthusiasm for the brand, the D4 show, highlight clips, and all of our future shows to come.
Keep your eyes glued to our social media posts and be on the lookout for any new announcements there and before our games on Sundays. Remember, be excellent to each other.
And keep watching.
Bibbidi bobbidi bobbidi boop beep bop boop. Here we go.
This is in the cut. Okay.
Welcome. It's been a very eventful first half, but we're going to move right into the second half.
Not at all. It's been actually relaxing. I got drunk, so.
You dropped the base.
So, Seisha, you just sent a paper bird out the window to the council member.
Finley saw some things in the Feywild, made some Fey deals. Karina saw some things in the past and is not doing okay.
Yep.
Went to a archdruid funeral.
So,
times,
but that is sent off.
And a murder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Partook in a murder as the victim.
I said it could have been self-defense.
And then Harold is trying to make friends with the guards. And V is loving the opulence.
V is finally sleeping in a bed worthy of her.
It's too small.
Petunia
True.
is
It's
probably
too small,
still
though.
writing down
She probably is, honestly.
the amount of lore and
Nobody talk to
arcane...
me! Nobody talk to me!
The amount of arcane lore and magic that is imbued into the palace itself.
Do a thesis on this.
But, as
I was just going to say, Seisha is just pacing the room.
Karina's
Like chewing on a
sketching.
fingernail.
at this current time, you start to notice time passes by. Although you're allowed almost anything that you request, the room starts to feel a little less than accommodating. It's not oppressive or restrictive in any overt way, but despite the formalities, you realize that you cannot leave this room unless you are summoned.
It's our gilded cage.
And thus, the walls start to feel like a very ornate prison. So,
Answered.
Karina, I'm assuming, eventually comes out of the bathroom.
Yes.
Yeah, she's drawing.
She had come out of the bathroom and was drawing just kind of to herself, not showing anything to anyone. She's just waiting on Venley and trying to figure out if she should talk to Venley or go to Venley's room or leave her alone completely right now.
If we've got a moment of quiet, Harold's going to bug Petunia. And I know you said not to mess with you right now. I know you're writing. Can I borrow a page, like a blank page?
Here you go.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
And I'm going to draw a tic-tac-toe board and put an X in one of the corners and just slide it under the door on his side to the guard's side and just casually sit by the door and just wait.
opposing bottom corner. Like, not diagonally, but same weight, bottom corner.
Ah, I see you've played before.
and absolutely just slides back and forth. But
Absolutely, and that's what Harold's doing.
Roll a
to pass the
d20.
time, is just tic-tac-toe games with the guards.
Uh-oh.
roll a d20.
Oh,
I don't... You better crit.
Just.
You know the grid game?
the grid game?
Yeah, you
Oh yeah, make the dots. Is it dots?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Any drawn game, if we get bored of tic-tac-toe, I just write a new one. 14.
Natural
Hangman.
20.
What's that?
Natural 20.
Oh! Harold's like, they're unbelievable. Like,
Yeah.
How is it? He might even hear on the other side of the door, and he's like, oh, like
Yeah.
this.
I'd
Just
say
like-
you eventually, like, he'll slide back the dots game, and it's literally like think graph paper, and there's a dot, and then you make another dot, and for everybody who makes a square, you put your initial in, and then
I love it. Harold will also pay attention to see if the Sun Elves ever attempts a game.
It is never specified as to who is passing the game.
Yep.
I love it. Awesome. Okay, that's how Harold's just spending the time. Just kind of like,
That's adorable.
yeah, they're bored. He's not bored per se, but he's like, you know what? It would suck to just be standing at a door with a bunch of people you don't know. So this is the best I can do.
I will say, out of the myriad of games, let's say out of 10, 2 of them are a different handwriting.
I was about to say, does it like change?
Can I
Do
also
people
play
write
some
letters
more music
differently?
for them while I'm waiting at the door, just like in between the rounds? I will play another elven tune. Do I know any? I don't know any sun elves.
You
Dabble.
know
You
one.
Davil?
Yep.
Is there a particular song he likes? Because I know he plays music.
He never plays traditional elvish music. What
Okay.
he plays is his own songs, and they're
tragedies.
Yeah, they sound upbeat.
But
There's one.
There's one.
A traditional Elvish song that he performed at our bar that was written about me.
I will ask Petunia.
Which
Petunia, I know you said not to bother you while you're writing. I know you said that, and I know that every time you say that, I tend to bother you more than tradition. Anyway,
It's okay, dear.
Do you know any like traditional elven songs that maybe sun elves might like?
Can I make a history roll?
Go ahead.
Yay!
History.
It's going to be extremely difficult.
I'm sure it is, but I'm pretty okay at it. 30.
I'm pretty
Petunia's smart.
Here's what you get. You do not get a song from Evermeet because
Sure, yeah.
you get a song from Myth Draenor,
Yep. Yep.
which
Okay.
is
And she kind of like, sort of like, very timidly tries to hum the tune out for you. And she's not terrible. She can carry a tune, but she's not like, worthy of the opera.
But he will try to like match your tune, and as you correct him and stuff, he kind of gets like, okay, I see what you're doing. And then I will go back to the door when it's my turn again. I'll groan as I realize I've lost again, and then I will fill it back out, and I will send it back over, and then I will make my performance check.
do so at advantage.
Thank you, love.
You're welcome.
28.
28.
Pretty okay.
Not better than mine.
Possible.
I better know Now you hear what goes on while we're muted over here.
There we go. Noted. Nothing happens at this moment.
That's fair.
Soft weeping.
You notice that when the game started, the moon elf, your friend, or the one that you're becoming friends with, was the one that first started the game, and then there were 2 games that was a different ledger, and that's when you started playing songs. Like, oh, I got them both, and as soon as you started playing the songs, it stopped until you played the Myth Draenor song.
I owe you one. Awesome. All right, and that's what I'm doing. I really appreciate it. And if y'all could not, it doesn't have to be anytime soon. I just want to know how to spell his name so I know how to pronounce it correctly.
Okay.
Because I don't want to fuck it up.
I will send you the first part because that's all you know right now.
All right.
At some point, Vinley's door opens. Nothing comes out but a bottle of wine and a glass pick up off the table and start drifting towards the room. I used Unseen Servant.
Amazing.
Just watch it pass. Keep pacing.
Amazing.
Oh, and it gets halfway there and then it stops. And then the cup goes onto the ground, and the bottle of wine continues.
I'll pace over, pick up the cup, put it back on the table.
All right.
Yeah.
So a good amount of time passes after, Seisha, you sent the letter to the council member, Lysanthier Amakisar. Almost to the point that you believe he may not show up. But there's a time, Harold, where you're playing one of your games back and forth, and then it stops. You don't get, it doesn't return after you send it. And you can hear...
Muffled, very muffled, unable to discern what is said.
Sure.
Of a third voice.
Harold will stand back up from the door, put his accordion away, walk over to the table and be like, hey, I think we got company. And I will sit, I think we got company, and I will sit next to Karina.
And the door opens, and in walks the older silver-haired council member. And then you can see that there is a fourth figure outside who is, like, as the door opens and closes, you can see another elven figure, but this one a very old elf. Hair almost stark white with age, but stands wearing green metallic full plate. That you can kind of get a glimpse of as the door closes, as they turn their back and stand almost center the door in between the other two guards. And you, like, immediately your passive insight picks up, like, the two guards who have... Even this, the sun elf female has started to, get a little lax with you guys. They are at attention, not moving, not, like, complete attention. But the door closes and the council member enters.
As soon as he enters, I stand.
Okay.
I will too.
What is everybody doing?
I will take a few steps forward, bow, and say, Councillor Amakisir, thank you for joining us.
He holds up a hand.
So you can see that his clothes carry the weight of commerce. They look well worn and slightly dirtied, at least compared to everyone else in the palace, who look perfectly pristine at all times. He dusts himself off as a wash of magic brushes over him, seemingly to mend and clean his clothes to a more presentable fashion.
He nods to the guards as the doors close. But you see that they entered with him. And now this is the only time that they're standing inside your common room.
Okay.
They do not move forward, flanking him. They just stay at the door.
Instead of the two of them enter, that one individual enters.
Okay.
Instead of stopping, he actually steps in with him. The doors close, and you now see this
Super old elf?
older elf. I mean, not like wrinkled and
Yeah.
like crippled, but like...
But he looks old.
Yeah, very, very... Yeah. But I mean, just weathered. He looks weathered.
Got it. Okay.
And I think the first thing that... Well, there is an ornate blade that Petunia you would instantly recognize as a moonblade at his hip.
Ooh, okay.
That down. But just stands there, just watching, very stern look over. You can see long hair kind of just pulled back, the kind of brushed behind two very long ears.
Okay.
He's moon elven.
Got it.
The second to join is, oh my god, I forgot his name now. Timanthiel. But you see that he is like overly rigid, kind of more so like in an uncomfortable way, where you can, if you were reading his thoughts, it'd be like going over, like, make sure you're standing this way, make sure that you address this. It's like
me when I was standing in front of V's dad.
Yes, exactly. There's a presence to either the council member or this weathered warrior.
Yep, and you watch as this elven knight looks each and every one of you up and down, measuring you, just waiting for them to, or waiting to see if anything happens, but is just eyes on you.
Okay. Just out of... Where is it? Do I have that yet? Oh, hang on, I may not have it. Nope, they don't have it. Never mind.
Okay.
I'm pretty.
Lysanthier.
Whatever.
Okay. Lysanthier approaches formally and waits at the center and entrance of the room. He stands stoically until both V and Karina are there before he gives a solemn, low, elven genuflection, worthy and suitable for showing you both honor and respect.
Welcome.
He gestures towards the table that still has some food on it. Despite the time it's been, it still looks, smells, and if you were to eat it, tastes as if it was just made. But before sitting, he begins speaking.
Your Majesty of the Star Mounts in the High Forest, protector of the prime material plane, the unbreakable heart Khan Viomiliana Vedarak, and Your Majesty, Queen of the Swirling Marble, Queen of Antovin, and ruler of the Apollo people, Queen Karina Larova, I am Lysanthier, Lord of House Amakisar, Council of Commerce, Foreign Relations, and Collector of Knowledge, and occasional practitioner of the Summer Jester's Courtship. It is my honor to be in your presence. Please sit so that I may join you.
And if...
What language?
He is speaking Elvish.
Okay.
In your letter, right, you mentioned of having a translator, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. He expects someone to translate.
Okay. I look over at Harold.
He will repeat it in common.
Okay. We can do that.
Foreign relations.
And then he will say the same thing, but in common. We may speak the common tongue, as I see not everyone here speaks Elvish.
Thank you. That's most appropriate.
Of course.
If two people would like to roll religion on something very subtle. So I think Petunia wanted to.
I see a little hand over there raising.
Yeah,
30!
I only got a +2 on that. So.
You got a higher one than me. Go for it.
I do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I only have a +1.
She just loves lore.
19.
Okay. Petunia?
30.
It was a 30.
30. Okay. Well, the DC was 18, and typically the religion rolls are low DCs that increase, but because this was very subtle of him,
Yep.
it started at 18, and that's all there is. It was subtle, but the Summer Jester was a coy way of referring to Edavan Ilisir, the Fey Jester of the Summer Court. He is an intermediate god within the Seldarine pantheon who is known for being a trickster god that enjoys revelry and mischief. Known to some as the Chameleon, as he is a shapeshifter that enjoys taking on many forms. However, his mischief is always intended as harmless trouble and silly pranks, although sometimes It doesn't.
Prince get out of hand.
Some people dislike his followers, called Quicksilvers and Mischief Makers, because they are often heavily silver-tongued, wild, and unpredictable.
That sounds like no one I know.
I will clarify, this is not the elven god of revelry and art.
Yep.
Lebolus, I believe. No, that was time. Anyways, not the Herald family god.
Yes.
Petunia kind of thinks to herself, wow, in another life, that seems really familiar.
As he sits,
Takes in mind.
As he sits, he pours a heavy glass of Evermeet, a multiple century aged elven mead made only in Evermeet. However, Harold and V, you have had it before once or twice on very special occasions in Waterdeep. Yet somehow, if you partake, this tastes even more decadent, as he offers some to you all. And for those that taste its toothsome nectar, it is a sweet drink, flavored with a swirl of cherry honey, vanilla beans, and rose petals. But
Did he bring this bottle in with him?
He did.
I would like to... I don't want to drink it.
That's fine. He's not forcing you to drink it, but you
Okay.
see he pours and drinks.
I don't drink it.
Okay.
I will.
I will.
Drink it.
Yeah, me and Pete are probably like, yo. And
I'm a halfling. I'm good.
You a stout halfling, even better.
Yeah, I am.
Who is not?
You're
I'm
still in
not
the room.
taking
Yeah,
any.
so
Not
I'm not
taking
in
it?
there.
Not. Okay, you're
not
just not
there.
even in the room
Yeah.
yet. Copy that. As he drinks, and whoever wants to drink drinks, he continues.
Delicious, is it not?
Oh my god, it's wonderful.
It's absolutely fantastic.
It's only made here on Evermeet by some of the most disciplined clerics and monks that devote themselves to the craft. It takes no less than 500 years to make the simplest forms of this, and what you are tasting is well over 12 centuries old.
Petunia tries not to spit it out in shock. And like,
Some taste,
oh!
or some compare the simple Evermead's taste to a honeysuckle breeze. But this is to taste the upper planes themselves. Legitimately
I
as
believe you.
close to the nectar of gods you will get before you shove off this mortal coil.
I could die happy.
I will sip it and turn to Karina and nod as if giving her the approval to have some. And then I will turn and I will say, we are most honored by your gift. Thank you.
And I'll just kind of to Harold like, oh no, that's fine. You enjoy to your heart's content.
I'm pleased you think so. Thank you, my queen. And he will absolutely enjoy to his heart.
Now that I have shared something of my kingdom, I ask that you each share a note from yours, if you will indulge me.
As he pointedly looks towards the royalty in the room.
And Karina being autistic, what does he mean by note? Like, can she gleam? What do you mean? Like a trinket or a factoid?
He seems like kind of just almost like picking up into your body language a bit. Story or something that you wish to share. Anything of your choice, whether it be a trinket or a story or what have you. It does not have to be tangible.
How about a tad of both? I'm going to pull out a 2-inch tall piece of marble. One of the unpolished, rough-hewn, like
Okay, just a chunk.
straight out the rock.
Raw ore.
Yeah, raw ore. That was the word. That is from my people's mountain. That is for you. You are to keep it.
I take it this is the swirling marble of your name?
It is indeed.
Not title sake, I guess, was what the
Yeah.
proper term would be, of your title, I guess.
It is indeed. The blues and purples that you see there are naturally occurring in the mountain. We mine it, my people, and distribute it in some of the finest, most exclusive jewelry.
I am a well-traveled elf, probably one of the most here in Evermeet. I have never seen a stone of its like here. Where on Toril is it? Is you say? Did you
within
say
the mountains.
Which mountains? There are many mountain ranges. If you don't mind me asking.
I will say,
think
for the
the
safety
name
of my
several
people,
mountains.
we only speak of our kingdom's name, not the mountains we reside within.
He smiles. I think I might know a thing or two about that.
Such an exclusive item, you understand. We want to avoid pillagers and raiders.
You're speaking my language.
I'm just studying him. Just trying to get a feel for whether he's being genuine, whether he's...
Make an insight check.
Okay.
And then he'll look to you, V.
Insight.
Yes.
31.
Okay. You got the impossible DC.
I'll say, so he is being genuine, but it's not free. Like, it's almost like you can see that he's giving and taking. So he is offering information, but he's trying to, but you can tell by his body language is that double talk that merchants tend to use to learn, not necessarily their mark, but what can I glean from you to sell you that I know you're going to buy from me?
Yeah. Nothing seems to be an outright lie.
Right.
There may be omissions of truth or twists of truth, embellishments, much like a bard does.
Right.
Yep.
It's just got that salesman stank on it.
At some point, if he glances my way, I would just like to subtly... I imagine there's some sort of like hand signal for "Do you speak thieves' cant?"
Okay. Neat. We'll get back to you.
Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check for me. But while that's happening, V, he looks to you and says, your conmiss?
Con is fine. Or
as
V, actually, that works too.
V? Well, if you wish to be informal, it is. I will gladly respect what
Well,
you
typically
wish.
my people will call me my con, and I'm not your con.
You are not, which is why, as
So.
Her Majesty here, which is a queen, but you're a con, so I wasn't sure if it was Majesty or if it was...
It's all right.
But how about Unbreakable Heart?
Sure. Why not?
What of your kingdom? Your tribe? Tell me about your people.
Okay. So, we are a very proud people up on the Star Mounts, and we kind of took over the role of sort of like protecting all of the planes of existence, because we can like travel via like portal dimensions and stuff.
Is it all planes or just this plane?
It's this one. Out of game, I'm unsure on how astral planes work.
That's fine.
Really honest.
And that's okay
Katie is unsure of how planes of existence work.
It's okay if V also doesn't understand because she was kind of
thrust into this role.
All right, yeah. So, from her understanding, we have access to a serious amount of planes via portals, and we go in and make sure everything's all good and that people aren't leaking over into each other's planes of existences, and help protect forest and all of the people and the
I have heard stories
nearby
of-
forested areas and that kind of thing. Yeah.
I have heard stories of the Veterax and defending from all sorts of planes. But is your herald also from the Star Mounts? I was unaware of halflings residing on the mountain, but it's been some time since I have made my way to the Sword Coast and Faerun.
My herald in particular is from Waterdeep. And so I had some...
We stumbled into each other. Oh, I didn't mean to talk over you. I apologize, Your Majesty.
That's right,
okay.
right. When you were in the audience chamber, I heard mention of Waterdeep. Who all here is from there?
Yes.
Not originally, but for
I had some there was some portal leak stuff happening in Waterdeep, then which I had like business to like I went to I had to stay there for an extended amount of time to make sure everything was good, and I Petunia was very highly recommended to me as a guide for the city.
I've been all around.
So we just took to each other so well. I had to have her with me, and here we are.
Is he giving off? Oh, this is total bullshit. Or does he seem to be buying
you're
it?
with your 31.
Yeah.
He is allowing it to happen. He knows there are falsehoods in there,
Okay.
but she has spent a lot of time in Waterdeep.
Yeah, but
What noble doesn't embellish their story?
but
It does not seem to offend
he doesn't.
him.
He
That's
doesn't.
what I was looking for.
Yeah, he doesn't even acknowledge that.
Okay.
He goes, do you know if, I don't even know if so long ago if there was this human that, his name is Mert. Do you know if he's still kicking around?
Mert, still there.
We are both from Waterdeep.
Oh,
we are
that's
both
wonderful. I lost touch with him when the twin worlds became one again. Oh, I really did truly enjoy his jokes.
Oh, I'm
Vulgar and ridiculous.
I'm sure he'd be happy to hear from you again.
Oh, that would be wonderful. You know, my favorite was the tale of the twin brothers who grew up to be strong and mighty warriors who fought for justice, valor, and virtue, and to undo the wicked. It is said that both were invincible from when their mother dipped them into the river Styx itself after birth, as she held them from the only weak point in their bodies. But death would inevitably be their foil. The thing is, Achilles is the only one remembered for his tragedy and his death, but no one has since been seen or heard of VoDs. VoDs nuts.
Harold.
Karina's uncontrollably laughing, like wheezing.
I'm not even
like,
gonna make a
all the
composure roll for
tension-
that.
All the tension Karina's been holding since that vision is coming out in like uncomfortably loud and uncontrollable laughter.
You see that Timanthiel breaks as he.
Harold clearly, like, if he has like 8 insight or above, he can tell that Harold knew where the punchline was going. It was just
I think you're my favorite person in this place.
I will say that, Seisha, your passive perception would pick up the older knight standing in the center as soon as Timanthiel kind of laughs.
Gets to punchline.
No, he does not
When
break
Timanthiel
whatsoever.
laughs. Okay.
Like, stay stern. Eyes snap to him.
And that's what cut
And
him.
he immediately goes like that, and then his eyes go back to the conversation. Lysanthier continues. I apologize for my crass humor. I hope you forgive me for telling it in such a dignified company. However, I can tell that you're familiar with
That's all right. Remind me later to tell you about the mine goblins.
I very much want to hear that. But if I'm honest, I do hope to go see the old wolf soon. But
He's a wolf? Nobody told me that.
Wolf, walrus, one of the two.
The latter.
But now that I'm a part of the Royal Council, I doubt I'll be able to get out anytime soon.
Do
but
you
your
not want to
letter, and from what I don't remember exactly what you were saying, but something about Waterdeep. But how is the City of Splendors?
Not well. The City of Splendors was host to the arrival of one of the Elder Evils.
And as you go into telling him whether it is...
The only thing we will ask is, what do you leave out, if anything?
That Lara has been killed.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure that.
Cool. But you made mention of Laurel Silverhand and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
That
Awesome.
you mentioned that Vajra is in a coma?
No,
Okay.
because I don't know if I know that. Do I know that?
Yeah, you were in the bar.
She was passed out when Silverhand brought her. I believe in the myriad of sendings that we just kind of like ran through. Like,
Okay.
this is the information you get. She has come to.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, no, I don't say anything about it.
But as you're telling him all of this, you see his joyful demeanor fall away into despair. He sits lower and more slouched in his chair, and he gulps down his glass rather than sipping it, something you do not do with something so fine. He apathetically sets it back on the table, uncaring as it topples over and rolls away towards one of the plates covered in food.
I wonder why Laurel has not reached out. Unless she's trying to reach Lady Moonflower. Which would explain why we haven't heard anything.
Councilman,
Matter, my family and I are only elves on the island dedicated enough to care. Even then, it's only because of the mischievous revelry we would get up to when we were younger.
You know
Councilman,
Lady Silverhand personally.
I do. I don't doubt
If
I
I
would
may-
be the only one to shed a genuine tear for the people and places lost.
He looks towards you, Harold.
if I may ask and be so bold as to, did you perhaps go on adventures with these people?
I did not. I've always been a master of commerce and trade, and I have been to the City of Splendors many times. In fact, I was well acquainted with Kelvin Blackstaff, and tend to make myself known to the Open Lord. I believe Pierre Geron. Who was after Pierre Geron? It's been so long. But
You might avoid the new Open Lord. Manchun is now Open Lord of the city.
You see a confused furrow of his brow as another one arches in your direction.
And this is where, even though I do understand more than others of non-Evermeethan politics, I do not understand that. But I'm not here to question that.
May I ask a bold question of you?
Of course, Your Majesty.
You're so well-traveled and know of so much of the world, and yet you've taken this position in an isolated culture, but you also don't seem too overjoyed for? What makes you choose to be in such a position?
Because if not me, then who?
Do you
My
find
duty is to Evermeet and its people, and it always has been. Before that, it was to my queen, and I am here because of her.
Understandable. Thank you for clearing that up.
And
Our deepest respects.
Romuald was one of my closest friends. Who do you
Yes,
think
it's all
took
shame.
him on his adventures? How he got from here to there?
And you can see that even though he's reminiscing and was enjoying talking about the revelry that he had when he speaks of Evermeet, it is not a sadness or like I feel chained. It feels like an honor and a duty, even if it means giving up something. Sacrifices must be made.
Councilman, I have
I
a
guess advisor now.
There's a small chuckle from the other room.
advisor, if that is what you prefer.
You can call me Lysanthier.
Thank you. I stand there.
Little secret.
Seisha. I,
At least behind closed doors.
absolutely. I have concerns. Every body of government we have encountered since all of this started has been corrupted by the Elder Eye. Infiltrated, if you will. My concern is that people who hunger for power fall sway to his promises very easily.
Evermeet is not unknown to those who seek power. We have a very lush history with it. I will take your words and your warnings, and I will do what I can to convince my peers that it is a threat worth looking into. But Evermeet is as old as Toril. And this wouldn't be the first time we would be faced with such things.
Have you ever heard mutterings of the cult of the Elder Eye?
Can't say that I have. But cults come and go. Especially when you've lived as long as, well, when you live as long as we do. They rise, they fall, they rise again as something different.
I wish not to speak for others here, but that is why we need Evermeet's help so greatly. You have a history beyond what any other nation has. You have wisdom beyond what any other nation has. And you have faced many of these threats more often than anybody else has. You have direct.
If it were up to me, you'd have it. But I am not the one you need to convince.
I
It
understand.
is- You brought home the Lost Prince and spoke of apocalypses just after we announced our new king. We waited for 100 years for him to return. Sudden changes such as discussing rightful heirs to a throne after 3 days is not in the realm of how we elves conduct ourselves. Everything we do is done with careful measure and time, because we are allowed this luxury.
We did attempt to contact a member of the council. Unfortunately, that connection is complicated.
Our warnings were immediately disregarded due to petty personal life grievances. The delay of our message rests solely on the responsibility of the person who failed to deliver our messages.
Damn.
That's that Karina bluntness I love.
I do apologize that you're receiving it so late.
Be careful speaking so bluntly.
I'm aware.
Because if their ears do hear, they can seek satisfaction.
I will be the one to have it if they do.
Man, Harold is in your telepathic thoughts in the group going, "You get it, Karina! Get it!" He's like stone-faced sitting at the table, but in your mind, you fucking get that shit!
You see with those words, he respects it.
Yeah.
But it's sad to hear.
Yeah.
She's not saying it in an intentionally shitty way. She is saying it with a solemnness.
And so he will continue. We have shown hospitality.
You have indeed, except for one.
It is not that. You have been shown hospitality. You are guests of the king.
Yes, I merely
Be
speak
mindful of what you say about who, as that could be seen as breaking hospitality.
I understand. Where I rule, guests are treated with hospitality upon arrival. We were met with hostility, despite a personal connection with the person who met us. So please understand that as we sit before you, we do so fighting against a tide of personal pride and arrogance. We are here because we want to be here. We are here because we are choosing to help, and we wish to help. Your hospitality is, of course, deeply appreciated. I don't want to see Evermeet fall to a horrific evil that wants to consume this world as I've seen it consume others, all because somebody has a sibling rivalry.
I grant you honorary bard status.
I am guessing you're speaking of Ameria. Know this. She is well suited for her position. A remarkable archdruid that tamed Karask Athil, or Hellkite in the common tongue. Hellkite is the rock-sized eagle that no other could even approach, let alone attempt to claim as a mount. She has always excelled in everything I have seen her put her mind to. However, I believe that this is because she fears failure to the point she doesn't know who she truly is as an individual, from a lifetime of trying to please others by chasing perfection. Or maybe, like she is trying to make up for something in her past that she feels responsible for not being strong enough to overcome or stop. That being said, since y'all's arrival, I can say I've never seen her act so brashly to the point of letting her typical perfect decorum falter.
That is what I am speaking of.
But even then, I would say it is Anahare Aroth that you should be aware of.
I will take whatever warnings you wish to give.
The seasoned elf steeples his fingers over his mouth and whispers a message that only you all can hear as he strategically points them all in a direction so that it's all facing towards you. And with mouth covered and whispered tongue, he says,
House Aroth was only tolerated by the former queen. Their skills, wisdom, and services to the kingdom were valued, but despite their love and respect, the queen knew they did not see her as the true authority of Evermeet. This dissension is rumored to be because their devotion to certain things has bred them to believe they should have been the house upon the throne. Of all of the council, they seem to be the most irritated at House Dorothil taking the throne. even though unanimous decision, or even through unanimous decision.
Would I be able to glean if that's a moon elf name or a sun elf name?
You know that was one of
She's
the council
moon elf.
members,
Yep.
and the only member of the former council.
Just making sure sun or moon, since there's some conflict.
Yeah, it's moon.
that way.
He's
Okay.
moon, she's moon.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So the person we should look out for is a moon elf from a family that
Named Anahare.
Yeah, that
Alright.
wasn't cool with the queen.
Correct.
Okay.
Was cool, like respected her.
Yeah, but, like-
but behind closed
Yeah,
doors
like-
was like
that's not my queen.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I grabbed all the appropriate optics of
Yep.
that.
But I do not wish to overstay my welcome, and I have many other council duties to attend to. But I cannot thank you enough for at least allowing me a little bit of revelry. Perhaps I'll come and visit another time if I'm able.
Listen, Thea,
We would
before
like
you
that.
go, if I could, I would like to give you a small gift, an unconventional gift, if you would will it.
he
And I will get up from the table. I will bow slightly to Karina. I will walk into my room.
Oh
and
my
I will
god!
emerge with an otter. This
is
guy's
great.
my
You'll
kind
love
of
this
guy, and we're gonna make friends with these people whether they like it or not. And I will show it, of course, first to his guard, who is clearly a discerning, scary gentleman.
Yeah, you actually see, like, as you step up and you're like, I'm going to give you this gift, has stepped up directly behind the council.
Right. I will offer it to him first so that he can survey to see that the otter is legit.
and holds the otter, and the otter says, "Where do otters come from? Otter space."
I have found that in my darkest times, that otter has gotten me through many a sad moment. I don't think you're in dark times as of now, but it's served its time with me over the course of the past few months, and I have a tendency, when I meet individuals that I like and respect, to pass on my gifts onto others, and I feel like somehow, when I look at you, Lysanthere, I feel a kinship, and I think that perhaps this otter would be better served in your hands going forward.
And only you pick this up. But as the otter says the pun, the joke, and
He says under his breath in Elvish.
yeah,
Okay,
he's just
no,
kinda,
you
he's
understand.
laughing.
Yep.
He's laughing, and just under his breath, he's just like, some elves as well. And
Not sun.
some.
Some.
I will offer it out to him, and may it serve you well.
And you watch as the knight steps forward and takes it and inspects it.
Yep.
Lysanthere, I hope you do find time to come back and speak more.
As do I.
And if there is anything that we can do to assist, just let us know.
Of course. I will do what I can. And happy waiting. It could be a while.
It's a beautiful cage, though.
We'll find ways to make our time entertaining.
Is there any possibility that I could meet one of the Pegasi?
Let's see how your meeting with the king goes. then you can start asking for favors. So, but this has been a pleasure. It has been an honor to be by your company, Your Majesties. And he'll give a polite bow, and he looks to the older elf, and yes, I know, I'm going.
Timanthiel looks up. Oh, and he opens the door and gives a deep bow to the council member as council member leaves first, followed by the seasoned elf.
You see, and the heavily armored elf just looks at Timanthiel as he's leaving and just gives him just this piercing stare, and he's just just snaps to attention, and is, it just gets back in his post and does not move, and will as the two will walk away.
Binley, at some point, you sent out
Yes.
an undead familiar.
Oh no.
And it was out for a while.
Yep. So,
Excited.
at some point, name of your new creature,
Ithel.
returns and pecks at you.
It can speak.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's a crow. It has mimicry. So I've been talking to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to do the voice.
Class.
It's trying to think of words that the crow would know. Basically, yeah.
Oh, wait.
Leaders, conversation, garden, 2
cards.
2 leaders, conversation, garden, secret.
Who? Oh, here. And I'm going to reach out and pull a memory out of its head using encode thoughts.
Okay.
Of the conversation it overheard.
Awesome.
And it literally says, yep, and
T-O-O.
that's great, love it.
TWO.
I think it's TOO. Also guarded.
Did not say guarded. Said garden.
Oh,
Garden.
garden.
Garden. Not that one, not that one. Yes. So Hotherol and Anahare are having a conversation. And Anahare speaks first.
I tie it around my finger and it absorbs.
Yep. He is old and frail, and a mere form of flint of the axe-wielding high mage he once was. I doubt he'd be able to lift it again. Sahanin's light has already begun to wax from crescents in his eyes.
His reign will end soon, that is true. Perhaps that leads a way for young Lamaril to take over in his stead.
Lamaril, still fawning over his human wife. Think of the half-breeds they would have bore. The shame and dishonor it would bring upon the people of Evermeet to see their king willingly doom his bloodline to mortality in defiance of Corellin's grace and blessing of immortality.
She is gone. Give her the respect she earned here and in her death for Evermeet. If the once prince heard you, he could seek satisfaction. We must focus on the true peril that holds our land. Perhaps its plague is caused by the absence of a moonflower, and we have just been given salvation in his return. He will be looking for a queen or king companion if the time comes.
She sits gloatingly in that seat without it even being earned.
Remember why he was chosen. Despite our feelings of a sun elf on the throne, you would think after so many bloodlines lost to the Moonblades, we would not dare such a thing. But desperate times demand bold choices.
Yes, I know. He is High Mage, and she is second because she is High Druid.
It was also her that came to the council with direct word from the Seldarine about our calamity. And now we have Natel Kassir warning is off from beyond the stars. Hopefully the king and Ameria can fix what has happened in Amla Ruel's absence.
And then
that's when the memory ends.
You did wonderfully, Ithel. And she dissipates into the end of the spell.
Yep, because it lasts an hour?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that would be the very end of the hour.
I relay that information over the telepathic bond. Very matter-of-factly. Every detail of it.
Interesting.
I don't understand.
You would have to... Harold would have to have been stopped in the middle of him running over to Karina and almost like a corner man to a boxer, grabbing her by the shoulders and rubbing them and
She's like,
you killed it in there, you were killing it. That's good information. Karina, you are killing it in there. Oh my god, you sure you weren't a queen your whole life? You are killing it, you are queen. Yeah, slay, all that stuff.
I'm just acting like my mother. It seems to be going well.
You are doing a damn good job. Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah, and the telepathic bond beats like, you're doing so much better than me. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. I don't know what I would have done if you were here. This is not my thing.
Korea's like, that's okay.
Just
you're
keep
kind of
it
that
up.
intimidating, strong, silent type, and I'm the fiery little one. We're a really good team.
Yeah. I just need to
Lovely method
not
acting.
be asked more detailed questions about anything about me.
You
Okay,
said
so
you'd get back
what does
to
this
me
mean
on
exactly,
the Thieves'
Vinley,
Cant.
for you having more of a clear picture of what's going on?
What did you get on your sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand was a 16 or 17,
Okay,
I think.
16. Okay. Gives you a wink at some point during the conversation.
Cool.
That's all.
Okay.
Acknowledges that he too may also speak Thieves' Cant.
Awesome.
And then, Harold, you just said something?
I was saying, Vinley, can you give me some more further context on what exactly that conversation's about?
Yeah, I don't understand. I'm still new to politics.
I got the gist, but I don't have the particulars.
Those are two councils. Two elves on the council, and
One of them is the one we were warned about.
yes.
That gives me context. Thank you. Okay.
And they
That's
both
bad.
seem to be pretty on the fence about who they're going to back. So is
What are the choices?
Lamruel or the king that's on the throne?
I will clarify and say that
They were going to wait for the current king to die.
One of them posed,
Wait!
One of them posed that as the option.
yes.
They were talking about possibilities and potential outcomes of what is going to happen, which means the council is divided as of current, and you just had a meeting with, I assume, 2 of them or 1?
One.
1. That's 3 of them.
Oh,
That's
when we were
quickly sounding like a majority.
No, when we were in the room, none of them seemed real happy about him being on the throne. None of them did.
So
But there's a difference between not liking the current king and wanting Lamruel.
But clarification with that, the information that you've gathered so far, is there is already a threat in Evermeet. And the hasted decision, as you are correct,
Yeah.
the original decision was to be made by the end of the year. It didn't have a specific date,
Mm-hmm.
but this is a month before the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And elves take their time
Mm-hmm.
in making
A
decisions.
little soon.
Which is really weird because they rushed it.
They were probably pressured into it because there was a threat killing elves and they needed a king to unite them.
And wasn't it
And then
Amiria that told them about the threat?
Exactly.
Miria was the one that told about the threat, and he was elected because he is High Mage.
Is that about the time that I told her that Illatron was still alive?
If it was rushed, yeah.
When I started sending her sendings on the boat?
Because there was a month in between, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
I can't confirm nor deny, and that's not because I'm not trying to be coy. I legitimately can't tell you the dates if they line up specific, but it sounds about right.
So she's taking your information and spinning a bit of a yarn about it.
I probably handed her the throne myself by telling her. She said the Seldarine told her. As if they talked to her.
I just want to throw out, and obviously, I say this with all respect to the history that you two have. If there was some sort of way for you two to kind of mend, we would have another out.
I think that's going to fall more on Amiria than Venley.
No, I think they both hate each other pretty well.
I suppose I don't really understand the context, although I understand I'm also not entitled to that information. Is there anything we could do to help?
Finley, do you know what these are? And I'm going to show her a sketch of the tree spore monster thing.
I'm going to come out of the room.
Oh yeah, I'm like at the door like, Finley!
I open the door and you're showing me a picture of that thing?
The monster. Just the monster. No other context.
I do recognize that, yes.
Harold's gonna walk over and
What
look
is
over
it?
that picture at Well, if that's okay.
Yeah.
And he's gonna peek at it, and you see him kind of
She is
straighten
sort
up
of
and tighten a
death
little
gripping
bit.
pictures.
And he will look over to Vinley to see if she's thinking the same thing he's thinking.
That's Illatron.
Yep.
Or at least something that looks exactly like him. Where
Yep.
did you find that?
I think it's probably better done in private. That's not an offense to anyone else.
No.
This is just something Venley deserves to be the one to share the information.
I agree. Completely.
And as if interrupting this conversation, the door opens once again as the guards enter with the third older elven knight behind them as he speaks loudly and clearly.
Valenthriel Galanodel, you have been summoned by High Druid Amiria Galanodel. I suggest you come peacefully.
And I start walking towards the door.
Seisha kind of moves to try to catch Venley's eye.
Over the telepathic bond, just real quick, aware that the group is going to hear it, but in a way where only Venley can make it out. Venley, that thing is what I apologized for. You know what I mean.
Her hands go down.
As you walk forward, the female Sun Elf guard steps up.
I'm sorry to do this.
And they slip.
And you see there's like silver ribbons with like blue silk arcane elven runes.
It's not. Doesn't do this. It's one
like-
on each wrist.
Yep.
What is this?
Bindings over each hand as you watch them cinch down on their own. They are not tight,
They're just
but
firm.
press against your wrist enough for you to know that they are there.
I would like to know what's going on.
She's
You are not privy to this information.
I say
This
over
is elven politics alone. Evermethian. You might be a guest, but you are not Evermethian.
Nor do I wish to be. Please.
If you would like to roll Arcana on these.
And he is speaking elven.
Elvish, just so you know.
I would imagine those are magic binding.
25.
25. You know these are basically anti-magic cuffs.
During this time, would I be able to slip Dr. Jones under her robes, perhaps?
You can most certainly try.
Yeah. Also with the 25, you know that if you fidget with them, nothing's gonna happen.
But
if
if I
you
try and-
try, they cinch tighter and tighter and tighter every time. Not like if you touch it once, it's gonna,
Yeah.
But if you keep trying, and the more forcefully you try, the tighter they get until a mage no longer has hands.
I wonder if that's where mage hands come from. I say under my breath in Elvish.
Well, that's canon now.
And then give the most unhinged smile to the person who put them on me.
Go ahead and make me a stealth check with Dr. Jones.
Cool.
Using Dr. Jones's stealth.
Oh, what? Hang on, let me make sure I know Dr. Jones' stealth.
There it is.
Is it better than mine? I can't tell.
Yeah.
That makes me feel better.
It is not better than yours.
It's
a
not
plus-
better than mine.
It's a +1.
+1. Alright, well, that's fine.
Could Petunia give him the help action?
I would say in this moment, sure, yeah.
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 So go ahead and roll on
Because
that
it's
one.
more so like a
Trying to-
pocket
yeah.
sneak instead of the mouse trying to.
And I got a lot of pockets.
You do.
Okay.
14.
14.
You're like an elven pair of cargo pants.
Is he rolling perception to see that?
You were going against his passive.
Okay.
He's not
'Cause-
actively looking.
He doesn't know to actively
Yep.
look for something right now.
Okay.
Okay.
And Dr. Jones slips in and under the road, like, and kind of goes. And as you turn and go, he motions you
As
out first.
the door closes.
And as you walk past, he reaches out and grabs and pulls up Dr. Jones and then lets it go onto the ground.
I jump so scared. I was like, Vinley full on jumps away from him when he does that.
And we'll look at you, Petunia, or we'll look at those who are here and just not addressing anyone, but says, that is the only warning you will ever get. And we'll turn and usher you out.
Harold, can you ask the guards his name?
Yeah, when he's gone, yeah.
Vinley
That was
reaches up
telepathic.
Yeah, yeah.
and puts Savard on the wall. And smiles at her friends as the door closes.
Okay, yeah. Before we get to you, what are you all doing in the room in this very quick moment?
I'm
Carol.
going to tell them. By the way, I gave that fella, the councilman, the marble. So now, if we ever need to look for him, he's got something we can find.
Good idea.
A little,
I'm gonna
little bit of a tracker.
real quick kind of listen for the guy to leave with Vinley, and then I'm gonna knock twice on the door. And Harold, somewhat forgetting the guys, if they answer the door, do they answer the door?
It takes a little longer, but eventually they will open.
Yep. And you're met with the Sun Elf.
I will look to her. I look like all smiles until I see her, and there's a moment of like trepidation. But then the smile comes back, and I'm like,
Does your queen need anything?
"No, just a curiosity of those of us in the room. Who is tall, older, and gruesome?"
So Valagar Corthalis, Knight Commander.
You're gonna have to spell
Yeah, I'm
that.
gonna need you to.
Wait a second.
Xanathar.
Like Valagar is what you said his name is?
Valagar.
Yep.
Sir Valagar Corthalis, Knight Commander of the Mithril Knights.
Just.
And the
This is a
Kingsguard.
question that is entirely out of play. Dustin, is this who I think it is?
It's Valgar.
It is.
God, we are in so much shit. That explains so much. Yeah, it's him. Okay. All right. Harold's like, huh. Okay.
Katie
Large
doesn't
stuff.
either.
Well, I appreciate it. Is he always like this? Just kind of intense and a little mean.
He takes Evermeet very seriously. And I think you
Clearly.
should too.
You're absolutely right. My apologies. And Harold kind of remembers that it's like, I'm putting on an air here, I gotta stop that. And will nod his thanks to them. And then when the door shuts, he'll kind of buzz his lips and come back to everybody else. And he's like, guys named Valgar sounds like an asshole.
And that
I'm very glad I'm not my mother right now.
that quip at the end was more so an inward voice to herself, a reminder.
Got it. Totally legit. Fuck. Y'all have no idea how fucked we are if that guy gets angry.
My goodness, Venley, no wonder you're so uptight so much. You can never relax here.
Vinley starts chuckling a little bit as she's walking down the hall.
V and the telepathic bond goes, you know what, now that I've mentioned it, I don't think I've unclenched my asshole since and doing so now feels actively uncomfortable. I think I'm stuck like this.
You have great muscles.
But
I do.
Well, they don't have
I
plumbing,
do.
so.
Alright.
is anybody doing anything else before we move over to Vinley?
Savard is still in the parlor, by the way.
Okay.
When he grabbed Dr. Jones and he said that moment, she reached up to her shoulder and put Savard on the wall.
Okay.
Before leaving.
Seisha's just going to go into her room and meditate.
Okay.
I don't know this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do anything.
Okay.
Where's that?
Petunia, Harold, V, doing anything?
Not immediately, but I am looking through my spell book pensively.
Okay.
V is like, this is just one of those situations in which she's just unsure of how she can do anything to help, really. So she's just hanging out with like Harold, and it's just sort of like you know, like, do we have any sort of like in the I think she's gonna say in the telepathic bond actually to the group and be like, hey, is there like, do we have like a plan here? Like, we're just sort of hanging out for now, or?
I think we have to let them do their talking, and we have to trust that Vinley knows what she's doing better than any of the rest of us.
Okay.
We're working with an extremely efficient system that has existed for thousands of years. They've got everything worked out, and they've had more opportunities to deal with things going wrong than we have over their lifetime. So we have to just trust that Vinley is going to do what she's got to do. And if things get hairy, I feel like we work our best when we don't have much of a plan and just kind of go by the seat of our pants.
Okay. V states that, like, she's like, due to Karina's freak out earlier, I've become increasingly more paranoid, and I just don't feel comfortable talking about stuff personally without using a telepathic bond, if that's cool with all of you guys.
That's fine.
I
Whatever
just
you wanna
constantly
do.
feel like someone's listening in on me somehow, or watching me.
Even the walls have ears.
No, that's that place we met Karina,
Oh, yeah.
where the walls literally have ears and high fives.
Yeah.
Technically,
And hugs.
they had like blow.
Big hugs.
I just want to say that I think we're all doing a really good job so far, and I think we should keep up with what we're doing. I don't think that we're losing if there's a winning or losing right now. I don't feel like we've made any bad choices. I think We've set up the characters we're playing very well.
Thank you.
And I think we just need to let Vinley do the things she's needed to do for most of her life since she left here.
Once Vinley's back, I hope we can talk about what I saw. It's not right for me to say that in her place, but the thing that you saw in my book, it's real bad. It's real bad.
Yeah, it's... We're familiar with who he is to Vinley.
No, it's worse.
Then we'll have to discuss it once she's back.
Yeah.
But I think you're right to tell her first.
She's gonna need all of us, and I just want everybody to, you know.
She's my sister.
Well, she could use a good one.
If that's the truth.
Sucks.
The way Lysanther described her, I feel like...
She was a perfect little princess.
No, I feel like maybe we've got a different perspective of her from the person she is, because our view and understanding of her is affected by Venli.
Well, yeah, everybody's more honest about their soul when their siblings are around. I'm a different person around my siblings.
She's normally a measured, cautious, intentional person, he said. I didn't see any of that when Venli was around.
To be honest, siblings will do that to you. But that's the thing, that's our key, I guess you could say.
I think Venli's her weakness.
That's what I mean. As long as Venli's here, that porcelain is just going to keep cracking and cracking and cracking. She won't be able to maintain it.
But is that the right thing for Evermeet? We're here not only to help outside Evermeet. Big picture, we're helping them too. And it seems like maybe we need to take a step back from our preconceived notions and look at the situation with fresh eyes.
Is this in the telepathic bond?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say anything.
Halfway expecting I cut the top.
Yeah, I was too.
Harold's going to say, I trust Vinley's perspective. Let's let her handle her business.
Oh, yeah.
And when that's done, we can all discuss. But above all, anything that happens here is largely her decision.
We're Vinley.
In case I cut out, she said, we're here for you, Vinley.
I feel like too much of right now is being puppeteered into what it's becoming.
I'm
That's
sorry.
politics.
And the spellings.
And you all
Shit!
feel that mental disconnection happen.
It's for the best.
No, it's not, because if she's in trouble, she can't tell us.
Finley,
We wouldn't have been able to do anything.
you walk along with the Elven Knight as he takes you down many corridors until you find yourself in the Royal Gardens, amongst the beautiful ivy-covered arcade colonnade that also acts as an aqueduct as you see small waterfalls showering water over some of the areas of the garden. In the center, tending to a few wildflower bushes near a reflecting pool blessed by the Seldarine, you see your sister, Ameria. She hears your approach and turns, nodding toward the guard that then turns and waits by one of the columns nearby, with eyes never leaving you.
Sister, I think it's time we have a talk.
And that is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Oh my god! Another great episode.
I saw the clock and I was like, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Look at them bobbing their heads, assholes.
Not where I wanted to stop it, but it's good enough.
So good. Thank you all so much for joining us on our brand new rebranded Twitch channel, Elder Eye Entertainment. We are so excited for you all to be along with us in this. Like I said, nothing is changing on Sundays, but we're just more fun things coming along down the pipeline soon.
Yeah. Hashtag Eldritch. You got maybe 10 seconds. 9.
Gotta
8,
put it in there.
7.
Eldon Kevin demands it.
6. 5.
Yep.
Potentially.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Heavy potential.
Last sentence.
Oh, man.
Yep.
What an episode.
All right.
Yeah.
Winner of the Eldritch Foundry gift card is Bow Splitter.
Ooh.
Congrats to you.
Yeah.
We'll be in touch. Yeah. Woo, what an episode.
Yeah.
Valigar.
I'm loving.
I'm gonna call the.
Yep.
Yep. Nope, you're good. Yep.
I found the
So,
gas company
but
number. So
with,
I'm just gonna go ahead and call them because I haven't heard back
Yeah,
yet.
well, we will see you guys next week. As always, be excellent to each other.
Meal. Always
Oh,
roll
sorry.
with advantage.
Roll with advantage.
Roll
Good night,
with-
everybody.
Where?